Want to welcome everyone to the crypto kingdom. Welcome to Bitcoin Spike. And yeah, we are the kingdom. We're VIP. You guys know that. What's going on? This is London, former financial professional. You guys see on the bottom left. Let's go through the introductions, okay? Bottom left, London. That's me, Crypto Kingdom, okay? Harvard Business School, Duke University, education, etc. Professional grade TA. That's our goal. Go get your own financial analysis if you would like it in the form of advice, etc. Guys, you know that. Former financial analyst, though, yes, over lead analyst on $1 billion deal across the table from Harvard Foundation. So a lot of good techniques to bring to this space in terms of analytics. Okay, we try and be the best. I just know that we are the best. We have a great group. Let's continue this after I say former presidential advisor as well. You'll see on the bottom right, you'll see Josh, our champ. What is up, Josh? He has been busy with business, so that is nice. Now, the king of the station, etc., is on the top right. Angel Matos, what is up? Brother, nice to have you in the stream. That's kind of the introductions, and it just doesn't suffice there. We have a ton of great VIPs. VIP has never been as strong. I was going to say that. It sounds like a political statement, doesn't? But we're going to go through today exactly what the price action was since the last stream. Very exciting to see exactly what happened. Just textbook. And we have some other things I want to go through today. It's going to be an interesting stream. We've had a great last few days getting the group kind of back together, starting off 2022 in the right direction. And I want to talk about a few things like cycles. We're going to go through cycles, okay? I'm going to use a little bit of information that we borrow from, happily borrow from New York Institute of Finance, etc. Kind of the roller coaster idea, okay? We'll talk about just cyclical price action, what we're going through right now, the best way to capture that in terms of your trade, right? That's what we want to go through. So this is a image here that you see. What is this image of? A 22.2-year cycle of incidents of sunspots. Yeah, we're going to talk about like the cycle, the foundation of cycles. What is a cycle? Look how consistent that is. Let's go ahead and just blow this up. I want to focus on this in the context of Bitcoin and the context of whatever else you're trading. But as Bitcoin likes to range, it's like it's no phenomenon we are not used to. Do you see? And this is part of the New York Institute of Finance materials, guys. This is not an out there astrological look at some Google page. Now look at this, guys. This is an incidence of sunspots. Okay, and look at this. It's a 22.2-year cycle. What does that mean? That means the cycle is 22.2 years, okay? This is from like 1700, 1750, 1800, 1850, 1900. Do you see the cyclical price action? Oh, I say price action, but it applies to price action, right? But these are sunspots, okay? So as we look at issues like that, I want to apply them to what we're looking at today in the market. It's going to be a critical look at the market, okay? And critical, I mean not critical in the notion of what of me being critical of it. I mean in terms of the technical analytics that I'm going to use to deploy in terms of the analysis on it. Okay, we're critically going to look at it technically as well. Okay, I mean we're going to not critique it, no, but we're going to critically approach it. Okay, in terms of the technicals, we're going to look at the different angles. We're going to look at all the measures available to us on TradingView. This is the premium edition of the top of the line that you can get on TradingView. Okay, so we let you know that you can get your own top of the line version if you guys are VIP and hanging out. This is kind of an exclusive stream that we do for our group. It is very instrumental for our group, and we appreciate you guys being here. Shout out in the chats if you can. I want to talk about this really nice, okay, return to function. We've talked about it the last 2 to 3 days. Now I have it paused here because it was one of those things that caught the market completely off guard. You guys know we had that between yesterday's stream and today's stream, and I'll go ahead and let this play out. Okay, I have it paused right now. I'll hit the play button. I have the playback feature, which you guys can deploy on your own systems, right? To review the price action. Were you looking at a specific trade? Did it go against you? How would you review price action so that you can say, well, where did I get caught up, right? Where did I lose the trade? Where did I miss the opportunity potentially to enter my order? Where could my Fibonacci's have been, my pricing targets, etc.? This is Bitcoin, okay? So I want to go through that real quickly, okay, and just real briefly. But as we look at this, we've been talking the last few days, and we had a brief recapture, okay. Now on the price line on the 30-minute, you guys know during the trade day we had a big pump back to the upside. What was that? And it was just really nice to see it, because I've been saying empirically, I see this, right? I see this. I've done the research, etc. So as we look at this fallout from this wedge formation, let me go ahead and brighten this up so we can review just this wedge formation we were in. And again, just trying to bring you guys the best that I can, as I talk about again, like critically, right, in terms of the empirical data, in terms of the actual, the actual data sets that I get, that I use when I trade, etc. I want to bring those to you. So in terms of that, it was not a surprise when I saw this flip back up. I'm like, there we go. Now that's a real recapture. That's a real, because guys, we had broken down from a bullish pattern, essentially a bullish pattern. And I had stated multiple times that we had gotten there on the candle wicks, right? We had gotten there on the candle wicks. The interesting thing was, bam, and I was just, it was, I looked at it, I was like, exactly. Now the VIP are we've experienced it. They actually see it, and it's like, well, it's beyond, right? It's fallen so far beyond this level of support, right? The top level was respected with quite a few hits. This is a bit of variability in along that 44,200, right? A secondary hit around the 43,600. Then we had that 43,339. Top line resistance, okay, top line resistance. Bottom line support, okay, we fell out of the support, depending upon whether you're going long or short, okay. I'll just say this, if you guys mix these up, if you're going short, this is your resistance, okay, just so that you understand, okay. So if you flip those, I know that you're probably trading shorts quite a bit, okay, because you're trying to get, this is going to be it's going to be flipped if you're shorting versus longing, okay. The hurdles that you have on the downside are flipped if you're shorting versus on a long position. So we will talk about this, though, as being the primary resistance, being the primary line of support, assuming that you're in a long position, okay? Assuming that you're in a long position. And what we'll talk about is this nice, beautiful bam. And it was very interesting because a lot of people, and I'll tell you, the alert system that I have set up lit up with buy signals. Boom. It was absolutely inundated with buy. All the indicators were telling me to buy here. I'm like, no, that's not going to work. Really, some of the top systems that money can buy right now, okay? And I have several of them, testing them right now. As it was here, everything's telling me to buy, right? And that's really what you get into with even the top of the line indicators is bam to the upside wall, and then it wants you to go ahead and buy. So let's replay this price action and see what would have happened. Now, we called this in terms of, it's one of the things I asked you to look out for. Let's say that. One of the things I've asked you to look out for is the return to function, where price does break down from the line of support and then boom, recaptures around this apex. Very nicely done. This through the line of prior support, okay, and makes it back up into the wedge. So we will get into, and let's just watch what does happen. Let me, if I would have relied on the indicators, I think it's really important. Let's just see if I would have relied on the indicators. And yes, it's time to go ahead and buy. Let's click the buy button in here. People were asking me, and shout out to Freddie, but I did tell Freddie in the back, and Freddie will just go ahead and say what is going on. Freddie really challenged the market and won previously, and we'll just say, Freddie, you are the champ of January. What is up, Freddie? Saw a nice picture of you and a Lambo, I think, yesterday. That was nice, huh? Really, really nice. So we're excited about that. Great trophy, much well-deserved. January. Looking forward to seeing who is going to be the champ in February. So let's go ahead and use this replay tool. Let's get a little bit more critically diagnostic, and look at this, okay? Let's dig into it. And here we go, okay? Let's just, and you can always adjust the speed on this, okay? You can adjust the speed on your replay function. If you see the backward button, it's next to the time element on your trading view, and I would recommend you get the premium edition of Trading View so you can really dig into your trades, okay? But as we look at this, you can definitely just hit the play button and watch the price action. There we go, boom. So that's where we would have fallen out into, boom, had we listened to all the indicators. And it's just hugely important, and I have to say that's active pricing now, but you see what a big difference that is, and that's everybody in the market chasing, running into, wanting to go. Now, we knew about the return to function. It had gotten there on the lines. It was in a very precarious, I'd say, a difficult state in terms of wanting to actively trade, specifically Bitcoin, or enter into a position on your other alts. I say that we're always buying, right? We're always selling. What does that mean? We're buying at lower levels. When the price goes down, I had mentioned yesterday, it's like, is it red enough? Right? That's the one concern I have. Like, well, is it red enough? Right? We really like to get down. If we're retesting, and pardon that, those are I have set up on the price chart right now, just so you guys know, I have set up both the Fibonacci's and the extensions. Okay, I have these extensions and the Fibonacci's. This specific hit here was at the 23.6 on the extensions to the upside. I'll cover how to how you guys can deploy those today, because very few people know how to use the extensions. Very few people know how to even construct the extensions properly, much less the Fibonacci's. Now, a couple guys out there will know how to do the Fibonacci's. Okay, we'll talk about that. Very rare in terms of the extensions. I'll see a lot of people just grab an extension tool, or they'll grab a Fibonacci retracement tool and they'll do something like this, and they'll count this as extensions. I'm like, come on, man. So we'll talk about the extensions, okay, how to get into those. I have the arrow up for the extensions in terms of the levels of resistance, and essentially we recaptured two, this 23.6 on the extensions. Okay, so we'll go through that tonight. I want to make sure that you guys know when you're sitting in front of your desk, maybe it's the daytime, and guys, we do cover the nighttime. That's what we like to do, because the market is open 24/7. And I had another discussion today with someone, and I was telling them, I said, it's interesting that most people don't understand that crypto is that it kind of requires us to spend time during the evening, right, or during the night, right, and I say it's odd because people don't understand why, and I said I was telling this person, like, no one else understands, like, surely you understand, and I said, and then the reason obviously is because the market's open, and they looked at me like, they still didn't get it, they still didn't quite get it, and I was like, no, you have to understand, like Asia's trading, the whole rest of the world is awake and trading, and so I falling on an ear that I thought was going to be receptive towards it. Still, it was just, I just don't understand that. Like, why do you have to be up though? It's like the market is open, right? So in terms of that, it's just the truth. So we try and cover, and we do cover that night. That nightly kind of Asian push, when the entirety of Asia, like the rest of the world, that's not asleep at the wheel here. That's where we are, and that's just our commitment, just kind of that discipline, that consistency that we look for and bringing to the market. And I believe it is why we have a great deal of success. And you guys know, a lot of times if we're not streaming, Angel, for instance, knows this. A lot of times we're hammering back and forth. We have how many nights we have just hammering back and forth in terms of market intel, etc. So we're busy, whether or not it's in the back here, etc. That we would talk about our exclusive VIP DMs, everything else. And it was nice because Freddie, I'll just share this. Freddie was like, is it time for the 5L on Bitcoin, right? And I'm like, I said patience, right? When we got the end, everyone was going nuts on, Bitcoin's back up. We've recaptured the web. Everyone was like, we broke through all the resistances. I'm like, I throw him Miyagi. I want him to know patience is the key right now in terms of a big entry on a 5L, etc. on Bitcoin. And I'm not here to guide trades, but I wanted to let Freddie know, because we talk about the 5L all the time. It's really exciting. I may float it his way a few times. Like, what are we doing on 5L? What are you doing? What's the call? Right? So Freddie may be prepping for work. I'm not sure what he's doing now. He's got a bunch of guys under his control, so that's pretty cool. I don't know what you guys are working on now, but it must be cool. I want to hear more about that. So as we talk about that function one more time, I'm going to walk through just an additional time here how we did, and I want to bring up, if I can, let me see if I can really zoom in. It may allow me or not. Let's see this. I'm going to go over as far as I can into this. As you see this tool right here on the top, you see the tool, the little arrow buttons, it says bar replay. Okay, the bar replay is the one that's going to get you to this replay tool. Okay, so let me zoom back in. That was kind of messy, sorry about that. But in terms of that, I want you to know that bar replay tool, okay, if we're going to replay the price action so that we can review it, we're going to click on that replay tool. Okay, boom, replay, and we want to designate where we want to start to replay the price action from. Okay, I want you guys to understand the nuts and bolts of trading view. Okay, some of the other intricacies of trading view, not horribly complicated, guys. We don't need to go through the object trees and go and we'll do the object tree at some other additional point. We don't want to get too technical. We'll just go step by step on it. There's a lot of if you become overly complicated, I really believe it can overly complicate your always say your the entirety of your trade game, so we don't want that to occur. And kind of, I'd say important right now, we are getting through this. Bitcoin is expressing some price below this 61.8 to the 65th. That next level down would be the 78.6. We have the multiple levels. I'm just not worried about that. VIP have those. We've gone over them so many times, right? In terms of that, what's below us, the 86 on the interim, right? You guys got that. Then we have the 50% below that. So we're really stoutly, I'd say we're covered on this move right now. Let's go through this bar replay. Let's go into this specific, right here. Let's do this. Now we're going to select, after we do the replay, we're going to select where in the price action we would like it to replay from. Okay, we want it to replay from here. We want it to replay from here. It doesn't matter. We can do either one. Let's replay it from the top. Boom, from right here, or the build up into it. Okay, let's do this real quickly. Okay, so the price action is going to be there. So it scrolls all the way to the right. We're going to drag it left. We're going to do that. From wherever we selected, it's going to cut it off. Okay? Then, okay, and this is different from live pricing. And I'll always tell you if I'm on live pricing or if I'm on replay. I promise, guys, you know that 100% without a doubt. I will tell you whether or not I'm on replay or whether or not we are on live pricing, okay? All of the time we're on live pricing unless I'm pulling this up and telling you replay, okay, just for the record, just so you know. So as we do this, you can adjust the replay speed, okay? You can do that. You can really speed it up. It's 0.1 seconds to like 5 seconds to really give you time to walk through the price action. Then we'll hit the play. Boom. You'll start to see the price action go into play. So this is going to be just a nice function. We can move the screen around to see exactly what was going on at that time. We can pause, draw additional diagnostics in here to really get in and cut into the actual pricing behavior beyond what we have done based upon what we see at that specific time. What would be the approach at that specific time? So we see the construction of the falling wedge. We see a fake out, then a pour down, right? These are the times in here. It's like it becomes difficult. Okay, it's going to recapture. Yeah, boom, it does. Okay, so then we are back down and out. I had discussed very much so, and you guys know that. So that's the replay tool. I want to let you guys know that, okay? And we can discuss that, additionally, but always just real easy. And I always just get out of it. I'll tell you that. After I've gotten into it, I just X out of it. If I want it again, I just hit replay again. Here we go, round 2. Boom. Hit it again, do it again. Look back at your price action. We can do that to discuss things that we may have discussed and to kind of review things, right? So big shout out to all of VIP. Hope you guys are doing well tonight or this morning, however we want to look at that. But I'm glad that we waited a bit to really get into the price action since the reset. Looks like we're turning red again. We're in range. What's the notion here? Well, I wanted to go through. Tonight is kind of the cyclical range function. I want to go through this specific idea here. What is this? These are sunspots, right? I bring that up because it's part of the institute, the Foundation for Cycles. Okay, and guys, I know Wall Street learns this stuff, so we're going to learn this stuff. Just that's it. Bottom line, the top traders on Wall Street, they study this stuff, so we're going to look at it. We're just going to be aware of it. Okay, kind of the idea of this roller coaster, just up and down and up and down. I want to talk about, we've been talking about ranges quite a bit over the last several days, and we've been talking about capturing profit during a range. Bitcoin loves to range. Okay, it loves the range function. You can see this in here. We have a directional range here. Okay, temporarily. Then we have an overall range here, right? Anything that's consolidated price action, micro ranging, right, within the formulation of an attempted kind of a bullish structure, etc. Okay, this is the preceding level here. Let me get out of this replay zone, and there we go. We're going to exit that. Let's get into, all right, now, as we would look at the overall market, we may have particular coins you guys want to discuss. We had a blast yesterday. We just did. We talked about Lambos, talked about boats, talked about good stuff, and continually, I'm reminded. I want to shout out to Kent, Alpha Trader, VIP. Kent, just hope you're doing well. Hope your wife is doing great. I want to say that, and we're just looking for great news about your baby. Okay, and I know that may be a while in terms of when that comes across and everything, but just great luck with the doctors. Our prayers are with you. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. He's VIP, and we just wanted you to know that absolutely our thoughts and prayers are with you. The number one thing in 2022 is a reminder continually that yes, the market's important, but the relationships, guys, it's so crucial. It's so crucial in terms of the relationships. Who are we to each other and to the people around us? The market's here. It's we've proven throughout the guys throughout 2021, etc. As we've come together really strongly, and you guys in the years preceding me, in the years preceding, we're going to be successful. We just are. It's about those relationships, and it's critically important. I just want to let you guys know it's just crucially important. I'd say that. So, Kent, I want to say that specifically for you, big time guy out of Santa Barbara, and he's one of the greatest guys that we know. He really is. And let me go ahead and just shout out to Kent. I want to show Kent to you guys because he needs our thoughts and prayers. What's up, Kent, in the house? And not like you're defeated or anything like that, but we just know that we are with you, brother. And we'd love to be there, and we look forward to you and your family. Just some great pictures out there on the beach soon as you're having fun, or maybe skating at the skate park, whatever you guys have got going on. Just a crucial guy, really, really great guy. I'm glad to be able to know him, as I am all of you guys. Just very excited to see what 2022 brings. In addition to these reminders, like early reminders that yes, it's about the relationships. It's about, you guys have chosen to be VIP. You've chosen to be a part of this community. And I was explaining to someone today, I was like, it's a selective, I'm very selective in terms of who comes, who's a VIP, but that also means that I'm, at some level, and I explained this to them, and they got it, okay? They didn't get the staying up all night, but they got this part. I was like, and it's really cool because I literally could have selected them like they're good enough traders. And I think that's why you guys, I know that's part of the reason you guys, big part of the reason you choose to be a part of this group is because it just has attracted that, okay? It's the top guys with the heavy hands, with the experience under their belts in some form or fashion, either in business or some of you it's logistics, some of you it's whatever skills you have in the past to bring you to want to conquer the market and beat the market. That's the VIP way to be, and so we're excited that the group dynamic is coming across so well. So let's talk about. It's just awesome. 2022 is in gear. It is kicking. So let's talk about this line of support that we have from this preceding zone. We have enough of a kickoff to call this a line of support. Okay, we're on the candle wicks now. Okay, line of resistance, line of support. I may be in short mode. I'm sorry if that may just be a personal thing right now. If I'm flipping these at all, I will try and need to close that part of my brain right now for just a minute. What do we got? What happens if we break 41K? All right, well, we're going to go over all the pricing targets, etc. We've got 41,000. We've got our pricing targets right now, and we're past. We're past the golden pocket. Okay, that's drawn on the candle wicks right now. Okay, we have the low to the high, essentially the retracement levels. Okay, retracement levels. We have those. Okay, in terms of the 23.6, the 38.2, the 50%, then the golden pocket, the 61.8, the 78.6, then that full retracement zone. So let's say Baruch. Yeah, Baruch, how have you been? Hope you're doing well. I just want to remind you guys to definitely keep up membership with VIP. It means a lot to the community if you guys are looking to beat the, and I'll say this to those who want to, right? It's a community driven essential. We really appreciate Angel without a doubt. His being the leader in this group. As you said, he's the leader in this group in terms of the reinforcement of the community. He's been around Bitcoin since $7.79. You guys all know that. It's invested since $7.79. So it is it's a big credit to the community that he is here, and I just mean that not just financially, etc., but just who he is. He's a huge resource that we can all learn from, and I certainly have, and I look forward to you guys doing that level of appreciation, being a part of the group, and kind of it's there are not other groups like us out there. There just are not, and it's kind of an exclusive zone. So if you guys would like to be VIP, that'd be great. And the membership level is, let's see, has some things happen. Okay, Baruch. Well, look forward to having you rejoin. It's all about it's all about that. I understand things do happen in life, and we've definitely been we've been reminded of that in 2022. We'd like to have you as VIP again, right? We don't want you to lapse out of that. We're kind of the fallback. For each other, we're really a strong group in the back. We know each other. We stay what we say. We stay definitely attuned to everybody. And what would I say? I'm going to go ahead and Baruch is there. You go. Baruch is gone. I'm sorry about that, guys. But yeah, if he wants to show back up, and no, I'll join back in a little while. You know, you don't show up and ask questions in the VIP restricted zone, and then you know, expect that just to be still your form. If you're not VIP and you've chosen some other route, just, you know, go on. It's okay. It's no problem. But this is the VIP restricted zone. It is for the VIP. So Baruch is gone. That's okay, and I appreciated him being a part of the VIP. I definitely do. But this is just VIP time. So when I'm going through instruction and I'm going through just the details that I planned out for VIP, I just need to reinforce that that's for the VIP. This is the time for VIP. This is what this stream is for. So the interruption like that. Well, what happens when we do? No, that's not VIP. So that's not that you can you can feel that the whole tone of the conversation shifted, etc. And that's why I am up at 1:53 a.m. is to present information to the VIP. So Baruch, hope everything is going awesome. It's nothing personal whatsoever. And if you want to rejoin, you want to do anything else, just get you a new maybe YouTube handle and commit to, you know, keeping up the facets of it. But just showing back up and being like, well, you know, tell me this, I'm not telling anybody anything. We're a group, okay? So I hope you appreciate that. I hope your 2022 is going great, everybody. And if that seems a little rough or coarse, that's nothing. That's nothing. Hey, it's a good year. It's a good group, etc. So we're number one. That's it, and that's just the exclusive nature. You see VIP exclusive on top, right? Exclusive. So that is this is kind of the VIP exclusive chat, and I keep it that way. I just do. That's what I do for the VIP. So as we would look at this, in terms of the entirety of this current price action, this preceding level and the hit right here, this is an established level of support. We have pushed a few times along this line, and each and every one of these has wanted to kind of collapse down. It's reminding me a little bit of a fan formation. Okay, if we were to flip this, let's just go ahead and invert the price scale. I want to go through a fan formation. We don't deal with those a lot, but we're going to deal with one right now. If you guys are not familiar with the fan, all right, we need to get familiar with it right now. Okay, let's go through this right now. Very important. And if anybody's hanging out just watching, like it's just not supposed to be here, you can watch. It's just it's not a big deal. But in terms of interaction with me, etc., and taking the time away from Angel or Josh or something like that, that's just that's not going to happen. So that's not why we're here. So this is kind of their time. It understood. As we talk about a fan formation, let's talk about this. Boom, boom. Okay. Let's talk about another trend line. Boom. What is this? What is this? What is this? It's a fan. Okay. Now, very few people are probably going to be able to point this out. Let's talk about it. It's an inverted price structure. Okay. Do fans work in reverse? They can. Yes. You asked that first. Yeah, that would be the first question to your mind is, do they work in reverse? This folding over that we're seeing in the context of the formation of a falling wedge. Okay. Yeah, we're going to talk about that inverted scale. I want to discuss that in the context of like what is being formed. Let's go to the lines from the candle wicks, and we'll see this level of resistance. We'll see a higher level, a breakout and level, prior resistance to support. We're breaking out. Okay, this cross trend line is established. Another cross trend line is established, and we're pushing up further and higher. What is this? Essentially, it's a reversal feature, okay? And in terms of that, we're going to go real quickly to, we can go to, not the Lambo right now. Let's go to just the features that is available publicly on the internet. I'll just say that in terms of the New York Institute of Finance. It just is. It's on the internet. I always recommend you guys buy your own book. Okay, and if you buy your own book, you're going to know what's going on with the market. You won't have to be saying, what's going on when this happens and that happens. You'll always know what's going on with the market, right? You just need to read your book. It's not easy, right? But it's not, it's not impossible either. Fan formation. You see, this is a fan principle at a bottom. Now, it can work at the top as well. Breaking of the third trend line, one trend line, two trend lines, three trend lines, right? This kind of curving formation, essentially it's an Elliott wave formation, okay? It is an Elliott wave formation, but it's called a fan, the fan principle. It's the price is fanning out, okay? So when we look at this, people typically don't know how to define this type of a structure, right? What is this? Well, it's curving. Well, it's doing two ways that we can define it, right? One would be the Elliott wave formation, okay? One would be just that Elliott wave, and we'll do that with, let me get back into this. Not there. Let me get to TA on top. Let me put TA down here. Let me put the chart right here. So TA principle would be also, we'd look at like 3, 2, 1. You guys know the countdown function, right? Yeah. Countdown function, 3, 2, 1, boom. The fan principle, right? The kind of the rounding, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the ABC, right? The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. Typically, like the start of maybe a fan principle, that rounding function, like the top of Bitcoin. What was it? Well, it's page 3, 2, 1, real easy, like countdown, 3, 2, 1, boom, right? So we're plugged into this level of diagnostic as we would look at this principle in play. I want just to alert you and bring to your attention while we're discussing the recoupment function on the entirety of the falling wedge here, okay? As we're discussing that recoupment function within the zone, as we discussed before this further move to the downside. A lot of people got caught in this section. They just did. They got caught in this section. A lot of flash alerts, buy, right? Not us, okay? So in the back, etc. The play was on the 61.8, right? If you played on the 61.8, just standard. In terms of the application of the Fibonacci's, okay? We can go through some more volatility on some other coins right now. Just a lot in range. Let's look at Sol real quickly, right? Sol is just in range, about to come into contact with its is the same level of the Fibonacci for kind of a secondary hit here, okay? So we're still in range. That's on the 30-minute. Let's look on the daily for Sol, yeah? You know, we're retesting this primary level of support in this area. So a lot of this is consistent with a lot of the altcoins right now. It's like we've had a hit at a Fibonacci level, preceding level of support, and we're going through another kind of micro hit. That's on the daily, going to the 4-hourly. You just see that we're retesting that same level, right, as we would go through. Matic is in an interesting spot right now. Absolutely. Matic is currently trying to retest and reconfirm, I'd say, a move to the upside along its primary level of support. Is a big entry. Big boys are looking at this like, okay, we're going to make this one, right? Because it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a really corrugated move to the upside, 5, right? Difficult move in here. We caught this with an ascending triangle in the back. Gave that to VIP. I'm going to take a quick sip of coffee if you don't mind. Hold on one second. Thank you. Appreciate that. Just a little bit of coffee. It's good coffee, too. Let's see what we have here. Some of you may wonder, like, how does London stream all night long? Just a cup of coffee. Seriously, it's just a cup of coffee. That's a great cup of coffee, too. I'm a big fan of good coffee. As we look at Matic, this is going to be crucial. Now, we've double hit on support. I'll just tell you whether or not it holds. What do we know about it? Well, what are our backup levels? Well, what are the backup levels? It'll take all of like 10 seconds to figure this out. Boom. Now, VIP have specific pricing targets, right? Yeah, you do. Okay, in addition to this, we would look for some confluence in this area, right, of the Fibonacci's in line with this line of support. VIP, I know you have your targets. Gave you targets for this move here. It worked out phenomenally well. And we just get real aggressive on the pricing targets, right? They're very, I'd say they're very closely tied in terms of the range function or the amplitude between the actual Fibonacci's. We went through and designated them from the previous section, the current section, from the preceding hits as well. You have multiple, let's see, like, for instance, we also might try like the prior breakout of this level, right? We might want a Fibonacci level in this zone here, right? Yeah, we might want that. We might want 2, 3 different levels of fibs to really work with. So I've provided those two, and I'll say this: I've provided those to the VIP. And what happened? Well, the original ones that I provided you guys months ago, like 6 months ago, still played out perfectly. Where right here, boom, literally down to like just you looked at it and you're like, yeah, you just drew these last week. No, I drew them like 6 months ago. Right, so literally just bam, in around here. So once I draw them out, they tend to last for a while. So that's a good thing. If you don't have a copy, you let me know. If you're VIP, I get them to you, I promise. Okay, so you guys can hit these and book trades, right? Important in terms of accumulation, something as popular as Matic, right? We have a great history with Matic. Loved streaming Matic. It was really exciting, and yeah, just a lot of people made a ton of cash. Very exciting, right? Very. That's what we want to do. We're in crypto to make money. I mean, that's just it. We're not just staying up, just looking at price charts. We're looking at price charts to make money, right? So let's look at Matic is important. So in terms of range function, I bring up Matic because why? As opposed to like Sol, which is about on the same hit Fibonacci, Matic is trying to maintain this angular line of support. Okay, it's a little bit different than Sol. Sol is right now in just in about this of a parameter where it's right back down into this. Matic is still trying to have a little bit of an angle to the entirety of this support line function. Okay, so you may see a little bit of distinction on something like Matic, which is trending to the upside with a line of support. Right, copy that, with a line of resistance across the top. We talked about this throw over event. Not exactly ideal. Would have loved it to rip to the upside. A lot of the coins are really at threshold along the top. Okay, now with for instance with near has been one. We didn't want Elliott Wave International to be correct. The good thing is if they are, and to the extent that we get that price function that we were looking for, just really the first, what would we say, the first, what would we say that first, what is your first inclination or your first real, not a supposition, but your first conclusion? Tell me your first conclusion, your first reaction to this. This bearish down through here. Just the first reaction, bam. The more we look at it, it's going to go, and a lot of times we'll get into it. Well, it's going to go, but you guys know, like the classical, Elliott Wave International, etc. And I did a specific video on that. We've talked about it since then. Would love it to still kick up from here and go. Was looking bullish across this resistance. Then we started talking, I don't know, some of you may have pulled back your orders. I have to tell you the truth because we talked about the prior, and this is on near. We're going to go through this real quickly because a lot of you are involved in different altcoins, and you can at least apply this specific rationale to what you're doing. Okay, as we look at this preceding level here, yeah, the 23.6 played for like 50% here, right? So when I brought that up, and it still looks bullish, this and that. A lot of you probably said, if that previous zone played for 50%, I'm back onto the macro at the 23.6 here. I think traders are probably in that mode. A lot of upside resistance, just at all, right? We're along a resistance. Yeah, it can continue to accelerate and move to the upside, but that 23.6 is attractive. Next level down, 38.2. Compounding down into always covering your upside exposure, right? That's key and the name to the game. So let's get into just a little break there. Have some coffee, etc. Let's get into Phantom. Let's talk about Phantom real quickly. Phantom. All right. Now, Phantom up against the top line resistance or cross resistance. I say a lateral resistance, okay? Preceding intermittent high, the 348, okay? The 348, 346, 340, 339, but depending upon whether or not we are probably on which time frame on the candles, which is an interesting statement if you understand what we're talking about. The different time frames on the candles, right? Because the different time frames should be equivalent, right? We should go to the different time frames and see that 346, 347 as the same high, right? It should be the same high. I just tell you, okay, we should run into that same high on all the time frames. Like, why is that? Because it was still still the high, right? And so we have 368 versus 345. I'm not a big fan of that, guys, in terms of the development of the price charts, etc. I understand a rationale which could allow for that, but if we had a million-year time frame on a chart, understand this: if we had a million-year chart and it showed for 1 million years, what did the price get to at the all-time high? It's going to be the same on the million-year time frame. It still got to that high on the candle wick, okay? Now, the open and close may be different, right? The actual line may be different. This is why I don't like to see variation in the price chart, okay? I don't like to see this at all. I don't like to see it as inconsistent with the classical definition, a true definition of what the candle wick is supposed to be. It's the high of the time frame. It's still got to this high on the other time frames, but it's not represented. Understand this green line is representative of the lower time frames. This is the daily in purple of the high. Let's go back to the 4 hourly. Here we go. You see that, guys? That's a big gap to measure from to point out your pricing targets. All right, to develop your pricing targets. That's a 6.23% difference. Hello, anybody paying attention? Yeah, that's a big deal. So typically we'll like to draw on the hourly. I'll tell you, typically we like to draw on the hourly. That is our fail-safe. That's our catch, right? Is, well, let's draw it on the hourly. That's our approach to beating this problem of having differentiated all-time highs indicated. Big deal. right? That's a big deal for us. If you're not paying attention to that, you're not trading, okay? And I know you guys are. That's a big deal. All right, so let's go through the entirety of Sheeb. What's Sheeb doing? Let's just look at Sheeb. It's been a while. We'll crank back into Bitcoin, but we covered Bitcoin a lot. We have all our levels laid out, etc. Let's go through Sheeb real quickly. Let's go to the 4-hourly chart. I want to go probably down to ground zero. Well, I could eliminate the prior. Let's see. If I wanted to eliminate that prior channel, that's real interesting. Okay, that works out really nicely, doesn't it? It does. Not bad. Looks like on the prior channel elimination here in terms of that level, we're just pushing along that 786 and have been if we wanted to go to a ground zero approach. Okay, and Sheeb was just that was the killer story of 2021. It just was. Huge profits made by a lot of people. Very excited about that. Like a 1,000,000% gain. I looked at that earlier tonight as a 1,000,000% gain. Okay, plus over that, right, for the people who got involved early. So we can go and look at the, let's look at the, it looks like the first level of fibs channel elimination, okay, is playing really significantly. If you guys are really into Sheeb, you're going to play multiple levels of fibs, okay? You're going to play probably the prior channel elimination. It seems to be working very well in terms of those Fibonacci's, kind of that primary, I'd say primary meaning first approach that we had in terms of strategy for Fibonacci's. They seem to change to the all-time high once, all-time high to ground zero once we got through the primary cycles or the original cycles in 2021 into the latter half or Q3, Q4 of 2021, right? So in 2022, you know, we have both as a variable option. In addition to that, we have deep core acquisitions that you may want to deploy, okay, that you may choose to do in terms of, let's get into a core acquisition 1 through 10. Essentially, every 10% move you're going to want to schedule into it if you're going for deep core accumulation. Okay, that's on anything, and you can set up your Fibonacci's automatically like that to where you have your pricing functions, just bam, your targets, right? Bam, bam, bam. And for some of you, this is what you want, right? This is, yeah, that's, you're gonna compound down into this. You're gonna wait for the next cycle, and you're prepared for lower prices. You want to experience that that secondary cycle if and when that does occur. Let's say when that does occur. Okay, when. It's rarely a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Okay, that's an important statement. It's not really a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And we can say also, to what degree. We can't say to what degree, but I do like the statement that it's not a matter of if, it is when. Sheeb has expressed continual price action. It just has multiple cyclical events. Essentially, the original listing was a big cyclical event, micro cycles within this range. But what do we have? Like, it's not a matter of if, it's just when. And to what extent, I think, is a very good statement there. So let's look back at kind of the rationale here, the cycles. Okay, as we look at the cyclical events, what are we looking for? We're looking for support, resistance, threshold, or the range, etc. And again, this roller coaster, right? I like this image for today. It's what we are. It's what we're focused on this stream, just to kind of reinforce some of the dynamics. Okay, some of these dynamics in play, and we will talk about those here in a little bit more. Okay, and we'll just look for some participation. See who all is in the audience. If you guys would like to go through that, shout out to me. Don't know if when maybe Freddie is getting up, Angel, you may be preoccupied with your trades. I understand if you are. Like I say, when Angel's busy, he's busy. That's just it. So looking forward to, let's see what we got in terms of the other coins that we may need to go over. Sand. Let's go through sand real quickly and take a look at sand. Okay, sand is capitulating beyond that 50% retracement down into the next level. Boy, what a nice level to hit that golden pocket. Yeah, that would be a nice level. As we go to the candle wicks, it's still kind of holding on to that same level, right? So it looks like on the line chart we're below that, but I know a lot of people that are going to be very interested in hitting a golden pocket on sand. I just tell you, in the real easy way, if you want to go from the all-time high, just measure down about 65%. Boom, or exactly 65%, and you may risk losing the 61.8, right? So you're gonna want to maybe schedule in between the 61.8 and that 65th to see how much of that gets picked up. Okay, at the top level, the 61.8 versus the 65th. But yeah, I know a lot of people who really like the Sandbox project. That's going to be a big deal if we can hit that big of a discount, guys. It's exciting on Sandbox. You got to understand that it's exciting. Right? Don't tell me we could get a 78.6 discount on Sandbox. Now, for everybody else in the market, they're rolling over right now. They don't excuse me, what? We understand this. It's exciting to see we're going to get down to a 61.8 to 65th percentile retracement potentially. We would like to enter into a lower price function. Why? Well, I don't know, guys. What's the theme for today? Right? You got it. Right? This right here. You see that? Copy that. Okay? Cyclical price action, cyclical events. So when we look at this, the ups, the downs, right? And we're going to, is it a guaranteed lock 100%? Guys, we're in the market. There's always going to be an element of risk, period. Right? There's always an element of risk. Like that is the market. Like if you don't show up with that mentality and that understanding, you're not in the market. You're in you're in a different world. Like if you don't think there's an element of risk or anything else, always is going to be there. But as we look at this, and I talked about that last night, well, some people are pushing up price, etc. What is it? Well, other people are looking at it, and some people have to be a part of that price action. Angel did a good job of communicating. Some people, you have to go find the price action. Other people let the price action come to them. Right? Other people say, well, some people in the first group saying, I have to rush in, I have to be a part of this nice move to the upside. Well, everyone's going, it's the bull rush, bull run. Other people reserved, look there. Now they push the price action up. And what is this? Well, it looks like here, we're going to have a nice discount. I want a 50% discount on this, right? They may come in. That second group wants the discount. First group wants to run it up. Second group just wants a discount. The range has already been established, right? And that would be this would be the follow-up to last night's I don't know, just kind of discussion. Okay, so the second group kind of wants this discount in here. Well, why? Well, the point is this. The second group is excited about the function of, okay, yes, we understand, like the bulls want to push this up. Okay, great, they've done their job. Now we're ready to capture this in here. Absolutely, right? It's just a different mentality. Aggressively, like involved in the market, sure, absolutely aggressively involved in the market in this area, right? Stepping into and bam, 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 bam. Right? Stepping into here, bam, 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 right? Stepping into here, bam, 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 like, and making that, hey, Jeffrey in the house. Nice to see you. Almost bedtime. Understood. I know a lot of people got in bed beforehand, and I thought about it. I'm like, I'm streaming really early in the morning, really late. I take a crash, power nap. I just do that. I get in the mode where, okay, I'll sleep for like 3-4 hours. I'll sleep for 3-4 hours. So I split it up. Like I'll sleep like 3-4 hours, like twice a day, something like that. So I know a lot of people have full-time jobs, everything like that, but it's nice to have this available at night because a lot of people miss the price action too. And if they can watch the market in the daytime and rewatch the stream, then they catch it all, right? And that's really, really of benefit to people who may be going throughout the day or even reviewing the price action, right? Reviewing the price action while the day is ongoing. So I really like that feature to the extent that I can continue to bring that consistently, and you guys do facilitate that, just your support, your being here, etc. It's a big deal for me to be able to continue to do that because that's cool. Right, that's real cool. It's like, okay, you can review the price action, review the elements in play. We'll have a lot of these that we'll review back into, like the recapture of the wedge, etc. Like there's a lot of trade development going on, which is nice. So that group that wants to recapture here, why do they want to recapture here on sand, guys? Why do people want to recapture on sand in this area? They're as excited about this area here as other people were about this. Why is that? Why were they as excited? Well, because of this, right? Because of the fact that we have ongoing cyclical pricing in crypto. It's cyclically geared in terms of the pricing events, in terms of just essential wave formation, pattern formation in the charts in your pricing. If it didn't cycle, it wouldn't make any money. I'm just going to tell you that. There wouldn't be any pricing dynamics, no price action. No one would want to trade it. Nothing would be going on, right? And I have an interesting tweet that I want to go over today. Just, I don't know. I don't know. We're going to go over a different tweet just to get a little out there because Jeffrey showed up. Jeffrey, what's up? Jeffrey, a good member of the channel. So I want to go over this. I thought this was interesting. We're going to talk about this, and we'll get back to crypto. But we had a good time talking about some different things. And let's see here. We should be much more worried about population collapse, says Elon Musk. I thought that was interesting. That was about 15 hours ago. Then I thought it was interesting. The founder of Ethereum says, disparities in economic success, check this out, guys, between men and women are far greater once marriage and children has entered. Okay, good. So look at this. Synthetic wombs would remove the high burden of pregnancy, significantly reducing the inequality. Oh, hey, guys. Well, we're going to have decentralized children. Congratulations, Mr. Vitalik, Ethereum founder. Now, essentially, we're going to have synthetic wombs, and we're going to have decentralized children. Well, that's just exciting. I can't believe how impressive that is. Not that it's going to make me question how ingenious Ethereum was or anything else, but I have to kind of say, I'm not going to go for the synthetic wombs and decentralized children's and families. I'm not going to do that. I don't know, whatever's going to happen with that. So I shout out to Jeffrey. I appreciate the interaction. That's the kind of interaction that we like at the channel, etc. So yeah, Vitalik, yeah, he's the Ethereum founder, etc. programmer. I just had to say in response to Elon, he has brought up the fact that synthetic wombs remove the high burden of pregnancy, significantly reducing inequality. Well, hot dog, man, that is fantastic. Synthetic wombs. So we're going to have decentralized Ethereum, right? And then we're going to have decentralized children. Hey, well, go for it. I got to say, if that's your idea, it must be a good one. I mean, not that I want to buy any less Ethereum now, but, anyway, maybe there's some good competitors to it. I guess we could say that. I don't know. I got to tell you, just if there's ever a reason for me to want kind of Ethereum to not do so well right now, it's like, why don't we find another Ethereum? I'm still convinced we could program one if we chose to. Ethereum is a great example, let me say that, amidst the jest and some of these issues don't belong in crypto. Bottom line, right? We'll talk about them, everything else, but do they really belong in crypto? Probably not. So, stick to crypto, bro. I'll just say, stick to crypto. On the monthly, what do we have on the monthly chart on Ethereum is interesting. Called this at 43,052, right? In this area towards the top is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You'll see that in the wave formation, and got a like on that tweet from Elliott Wave, but that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the monthly. Okay, so as we do talk about Ethereum, etc., it's just important to go through those details. If I mention Ethereum, just out of whatever level of curiosity, or you got to know about that, right? It's a big deal. On the 4 hourly, looks like we're going to come into contact with that golden pocket. Pay attention to that. That's going to be something interesting for people. That and a level below the 78.6, and we'll flip back to Bitcoin, and I will take another sip of coffee. Give me 2 seconds. Jeffrey, thank you for showing up and shouting out. You're always like, you're active. It's cool. We'd like to get to know you better. We'd like to have you in the back VIP without a doubt. Give me 2 seconds. Let me have some more coffee. Just a second. All right. I thought about music taste, etc., and like maybe I should have music on. You guys choose your own music at home. I thought about that. Like, just turn some tunes on, right? Because I have music, I have different stuff I can play. I just do, and at the same time, I'm like, sometimes I have to sit there and re-hit the music button. And some of them are good, and some of them are not good. And I'm just like, it becomes a little burdensome. So I'll get that down soon, right? But we have everything from the rocket launch to just all different kinds of stuff. Let me see where we're at on some music. I could turn some music on, but yeah, I prefer you guys to, like, at home, just chill out with the boombox, with the sound station. Do something in the background would be cool, but not maybe too much. So maybe that's nice. You can kind of rely on me if I do want that. But let's see, maybe some tunes here to the extent that we can. We'll deal with that later. So Jeffrey, if you're listening up, and I know you got to go to bed soon, that's cool. But it's nice to have you hang out. Jeffrey's been kind of consistent hanging out. Not bad, huh? Not bad. We've had a great hangout. I don't know if you've caught up on the preceding streams. We had some great talks, great times. Shout out to Vlad. What's up, Vlad? In the house. Hit that apex, huh? On that wedge too, huh? Very interesting. Love seeing Vlad last night. Vlad's just a cool dude, man. He's VIP in the house. You know, he I just thought today, I'm like, does Vlad need a corner? I don't know. On the station and everything else, I don't know. I don't know, Vlad. I really thought of that. I'm like, because it's cool, but like Vlad's got a presence to him. He's like, he just does. I'm like, at some point I could see that, right? I don't know. We got Josh down there. We got Angel up top, of course, and I'm like, I don't know. Maybe Vlad needs to. I know he's in the picture, but he just seems like that kind of guy. Like, he's kind of that kind of guy. I could see him saying, that's kind of mine too. That corner right there, that's mine. So I don't know. Just bring that up, food for thought, etc. I don't know what all your plans are, but that's just an impression I had. I've been doing this for a minute. So, in terms of this fan formation, again, we'll just go there. That's no big deal. That's not a big. Either way, it's no big deal. But I just thought of that. So, just so you guys know, he's that kind of guy. If you don't know Vlad yet, he's kind of large in charge, and he knows what he's doing. He's a cool guy. So, let's talk about this here. Interesting dynamic in play here. There we go. Now we're seeing something that's worth talking about. There we go. Fan formation to the upside, fan formation to the downside. Very interesting and we just clearly see this. Huh? It's very nice. Until you point it out exactly, though, do we know what we're looking at? Now we'll take this away and we'll get into a different formation here. And it doesn't go without saying that, like, these are, yes, they're patterns, and it's nice to draw them once they're done and finished for it. No, these have predictive levels of profit to them. We tie these to profit, guys, right? So that's the overall idea here, is that we're drawing in the predictive TA to give us an element of profit, right? To give us that next step beyond. And I just the next, because as I draw like an S curve, right? As I would draw one of these, you start to ask yourselves, well, what's the real purpose of that? It's to indicate the technicals that are ongoing. Okay, it's just, that's really to indicate the technicals that are ongoing right now, that are being fully demonstrated right now. Well, how does that help us do anything? Would be a critique? Well, I don't know, guys. If you're asking that question right now, if you're asking the question as to how this is helpful on anything, whether or not this is tied in with a macro event, or whether or not you can apply it on a micro event, then you probably aren't trying to trade too much. If you can't see this right here as being potentially profitable, whether or not it's on this one, or you missed this one, or it's the next one, I just got to say, if you can't see this as being profitable, you need to understand we like to buy low, we like to sell high. And yes, this is a part on Bitcoin right now. This is a part of the price action over the preceding, and we'll just measure this out, right? The preceding 13, 14 days, about 2 weeks, right? But within this, we have all types of, and let's see, coffee in the house. You got that right. We need some coffee. Yeah, so let me go ahead and just remove. I think we have someone who, if you speak English, we'd love to hear from you. If you speak English, shout out. I don't know. I have a translator, but they're not on duty right now. So irrespective, we're talking about cyclical price action. Just talking with somebody in the chat right now. As we look at this, I don't like interruptions. I just don't. I don't like interruptions for our VIP. Hide user. Okay, well, maintain exclusivity here. Thankfully, people like Jeff who are here, people like Angel and Vlad and everybody in the house. What's up, guys? Look at this. Look at this price action up and down. Now you see, and I brought this tool up a while back to VIP, and I know they're kind of like, when I bring up a new tool, they're kind of like, okay, they're like, okay, yeah, technically, you ever want to use one of these? You guys, I know that you are. I can feel that in the back. If I talk about like cyclical price action, I'd like to trade things that look like this. When I say that, I like to trade things that look like this. A designated level of support, right? A threshold in terms of a level of resistance, right? Now, when I bring up a tool, and I say this in like on Ampleforth. Ampleforth did very well, right? It was a good. It was nice to have. If you have a dozen Ampleforths, guys, if you have a dozen of those, that's your year, right? If you have a dozen Ampleforths, that's your year. The guys who are paying attention, right? True. If you have 12 of those that are going to be hitting all year long, that's your year, right? Well, that's why we're VIP, right? Because and it's not just we're going to hand out $1,000,000 to all the owners who got $1,000,000 already. That ain't the idea, right? It's contributory. I would say in terms of the overall designated kind of I like people to be around a while. I like people to Angel knows this, right? I like to spend some time with people. I like for them to be kind of like, okay, going to show you. We all know it's kind of a win-win here for the right reasons and want to support the overall community. I have those thoughts, right? I just do it respectable, right? Respectable levels of interest in that. How do you know when to start the fan? That's a great question. We'll get into the details on that. Thanks for listening, Jeff. Very very good. Now sometimes I'll pull out like this curvature tool here, right? And we will discuss. Let me get into not curvature tool. Yeah, we're going to get into the double curve, right? Because sometimes the VIP, no, I'll wrap it around like this, and they'll start saying like, oh, okay, now what does that have to do with any? Because I did this last week, and I know some people who are into, if you're really into TA, but you may not have spent a whole lot of time around some, I don't know, I won't classify background, et cetera, anything like that. It's just, when you start to look at this, because I brought this preceding double curve up to VIP, and you guys remember that, right? Last when this was in formation, right? Now it's leveled out into this, and it's a little bit more interesting, right? And maybe it's a little bit better. It's framed better now that it's lateral. Okay, but we've been seeing this function along what? Along our primary trend line. Okay? So as we're talking about, well, what value is this? We're talking about a trend line with a dynamic of flipping from support to resistance, support to resistance, support. Yeah, you see what I'm talking about, right? So, yeah, the dynamic is in play here. It's been in play throughout the entirety of the respect of this retracement along this trend line, right? So it is very relevant from here to here, and we're just seeing a conformance in terms of the actual pricing. I say that the structure of the pricing behavior, right? And we could really do something like this. We could, and it's not. Let's see, it's not as maybe as clean as you'd like it, right? But it is definitely there on the preceding levels. Yeah, it just is, right? You start to see this, yeah. And it's one of the things at this level that started to kind of bother people just a little bit. We see the curvature of this. Yeah, it's still, you got to go to the lines, and now it's a falling wedge in this area, if you guys remember that. Well, you got to go to the different time frames, right? So, very, very interesting that we're legitimately interesting that we are cyclically tied around something that also seems to be tightening. You guys agree? It feels like it seems to be tightening, right? The amplitude, the measurement from, or the distance, I can say the distance and the amplitude, right? But the distance or the amplitude between the core trend line and the extremature of the curves, okay, of this wave formation, it seems to be constricting. All right, now that's on the line. Why? Because we have this event here. That was a big pour down. Okay, so we have to stick on the line to maintain that focal. That statement is only true if we focus on the line, or we say that there is one key level of break along that pattern dynamic. Okay, right? And we say either the pattern is no good, that conclusion is no good, or there's at least one key variable break, right? Pattern break. Another break here. Okay, so but that's quite a break. If you study TA a lot, if you know TA a lot, that's okay. That's fine, right? You don't want that to ruin your day or your week or your month ever, much less your year, right? The way in terms of trading exposure, I always tell people, the guys who are around a long time, they're not trading at levels like my and it's one thing to say, but if you can incorporate it, right? Just understand. I don't want you guys trading at any kind of a severe level where it's really going to ruin your day, or much less your week, your month, or your year. No, 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 no. Right? We talked about the need to earn people to trade, and I know you don't want to not book a trade, right? That's the best thing in the world. When I can wake up, I can almost do it every day at different levels, etc. Recently, just depending on if I have arbitration bots after me or not, I'm going to tell you the truth, right? Recently, it's not an excuse. It's like I have it in writing from the exchange. I'm like, oh, great, like it's a new phenomenon for me. So, period. I do. Okay, so, but in terms of that, like I can, I like to wake up and I can book 4 trades. Boom, 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 boom. I like that, right? That's nice. That's a good way to start the day. Yeah. So I understand that's why we're in the market, is to book trades. Maybe different than like a solid like accumulation kind of phase at lower levels, double, triple down. Some of these elements like Angel knows really pay off in the long run, right? Not just what you own, but at what price, right? So as we look at this constriction, it just really appears to be a new phenomenon. Okay, so while I'm discussing this, it becomes relevant in terms of the framework of what we are discussing: cyclical, the nature of the cycle, right? The nature of, like, I like this GIF, right? You just see that, huh? In terms, I mean, it's indicated, right? It just is. It's the range, right? Well, IMAX going on. But as we look at this, it's not irrelevant either. It's not like we're just horsing around or something. It is a constricting and tightening range along a support. Lower, shorter. What time frame are the curves between them? Yeah, the periodicity, right? The period, the nature of the periodic, the period between, right? What we would go through is, like, he's wanting to know how long is the expression here. Is it a consistent expression in terms of these, it's 18 days. It's another 18 days, right? Then we have shortening, right? He's wanting to know the time frames. Then we have, about a week, and about a week, right? So we're in that threshold from the kind of the primary, I'd say, waves. These are waves, right? Of about 18 days to about 18 days to about a week. Okay, so the constricting nature here is what I kind of want to focus on, with the ability to capture and realize that we're in a lateral expression currently, all right, that is also, I'd say, in the dynamic here of, clearly in the dynamic of a retracement event. But the tightening of this is to be noted right now, right? And it's giving us this, it is giving us this type of an interpretive on it, while having just failed it potentially, and that's going to be of a wedge, right? With the understanding that it's going to be that the base of it, okay, the support level is deeper. All right, so we're going to have some options here. We're going to have some play out scenarios. Okay, we'll go through those. But now we're starting to see something, huh? That's looking realistically like feasible in terms of what pattern is in play, what we're looking at. That's a pretty hefty, deep wedge. Copy that, huh? Let me get another sip of coffee. Just 1 second, please. All right, thank you so much. Coffee is good. So, had we broken out of this interval wedge, I'd say, in here today? We had a nice green candle to the upside. If you guys did not catch the beginning of the stream, please rewatch that at your leisure. I don't want to just repeat it, because the guys who've been watching, they're like, yeah, it's good. We did cover that. And the best you can say, what I would just kind of reinforce to each of you is, if you're looking for all the right answers before they happen, just keep paying attention. That's what I'll say. Keep putting these in your toolkit. Okay, keep doing that, and you'll start to see. I know essentially I know where this was going. or I have probably an 80% chance of knowing where this next move is going. Maybe a 70-30, maybe a 60-40, maybe a 50-50, right? So, but the more that you pay attention to the technicals, the more that that's going to play out in your favor. I'm just going to say that the more that you put in your toolkit, the greater you're going to be. And a lot of you guys are really sophisticated. Like, Vlad, you got a lot of sophistication in your charts. You got your own system, your own dynamic together, right? I like to hear about your positions that you've entered, that you exit, etc. And I keep up with those. When you tell me whether or not I comment back on them, I will let you know. I keep up with them because it's nice to know how you're trading. It's nice to see some hands that are moving in the market. It's cool. That's why we're together. So I appreciate you sharing that with the group. Thank you. Right? Not everybody does. Some people just learning. We got everything from like the like CUDA. What's up with CUDA? We got to go through it. While we're waiting on this, we're going to go through something cool because this is one of my favorite pictures for VIP. This is just cool. What's up with CUDA? Where are you at, CUDA? I like this. What's up, CUDA? U.S. Air Force in the house in Germany. What's up? Now, CUDA been around the world, huh? I don't know what block or corner you're on, brother, but that's I don't know. That looks like out of a movie or something, huh? You guys see that? I don't know where CUDA is. I don't know what he does. He's a cool guy. He's VIP. I don't ask questions, right? But he is. Look at these. Charlie Daniels. What's up, Charlie Daniels band? That's cool. Nice motos. My favorite picture of anything in here, I got to talk about this real quickly. Boom. That's what's up. That is what is up. Just sting him, brother. Just roll the thunder at him. Love that. Just so CUDA's in the background. He can rip a guitar better than anybody could probably drive a car in this group. We love fast cars, etc. CUDA can rip a guitar like you guys cannot believe. Just unreal. You watch the guy play. He's something else. So, how is this going to work out? How is this going to play out? What's our answer? Right? Let's okay. Let's see this. Now, we understand our Fibonacci's. Okay? We're going to go into the standard here. Let's go to 86 Fib mod. Gotta like that. That's good. Okay, we'll go to the 86 Fib mod. Because that's a big question. Well, where is this going to go? Like Jeff saying, well, a few weeks ago I said it was going to go to 20,000. If it's tied to a technical, great. If it's tied to a technical, perfect. Otherwise, it's going to such and such, no good. It's no good, right? It's if it's based on a technical, great. If it's just let's say like a 200 week heat map. Okay, I'm gonna do a 200 week heat map just so we know why. Because you're building in expectations to something without a technical framework behind it, and that's useless for us. It's useless for us. If it's not founded on TA that's going to be respected by the market, and we want to know this, and I got to just tell you, we do. We absolutely do as a group, and you know this, Jeff, as much as anybody. It has to be tied to a technical, something technically oriented. 20,000, okay, 18 or 19, 20,000, Jeff, you want to say that, is tied to what? Is tied to potentially a level, okay, a golden pocket, right? So we wouldn't say the price, I see the price is going to go to 20,000. We're not going to say that. No, we're going to say the golden pocket is 23,868 at the 65% retracement. You are playing the market at that point. You're respecting the technicals at that point, right? And it's not you. It's all the framework that gets put together that's respected by Wall Street, that's respected by all the top brokerage houses, the investment banks. You see, then you're playing their game. It's not Jeffrey Porter against the market. No, you're speaking their language. Okay? Right? When you say, "Oh, it's going to 14,782," no, it's not. It's the 78.6 on the macro at the 78.6 on the macro, the ground zero to all-time high of 69,000 is indicated a price of target of 14,782. then that's not London against against the market. I'm going to be right. It's the fundamental application of the technicals with the expressive vocabulary necessary to provide that specific level context to where it is received well by the participants, to where it's actually understood and respected by the traders, right? Absolutely. And that's what our goal is, continually, as a group, as everybody. Not it's going to be, London said it's going to 20,000. No, London didn't say that. Now, London might have talked about what? Me. I might have talked about the 200-week heat map. And a lot of people picked up on that 200-week level. And that was me early in this process talking about that. And people did get the impression, oh, well, London said it's going to 15,000. No, I didn't. I said the 200 weekly average, which had been hit multiple times throughout this retracement, down into this level of like 3,000, 3,500. That was the 200-week heat map, the 200-week moving average, right? Yes. So not London said it was going down to the, no. London didn't say that. I said, and I say, the 200 weekly moving average is the go-to big boy deep pocket level on Bitcoin. Has been. Okay? So when it's at 15, go-to big boy deep pockets are sitting at the 200 weekly with orders right now. Right now. Not that it's going there and they're going to get picked up tomorrow. The 20,000 is a level where right now orders would slam and hit on that right now. Right now is technically indicated. Okay? Is it going there? Well, we have a lot of other technicals in the way before there. You have countries that are going to decide what they're doing in the meantime. You have regulations potentially which are going to be decided between here and there. You have a market in flux like every market is, right? Right. So that's the distinction that we provide. It's not a, what do we say, guys? It's not an excuse. It's not a cover. Oh, it's not a, oh, you really don't know. Excuse anybody who says that not, right? Excuse them not. Because that's the elegance of the market. That's the sophistication of the market. Is that you're able to converse in a way that's not a blanket call and this and that and everybody go do. I mean, you want to wind up with a burned record on the market, And every now and then you're gonna get it really right, like 29,750. There you are, right? Just undeniably correct, like on tape. Good time to buy Bitcoin. Boom. And and some people are going to know your successes more than others. But as you qualify out your technicals, right, and you participate in the market technically, you want those technicals as your, you want them as your ally, right, your facilitator, and not as your crutch. It's not a crutch, right? It's not something you need to lean on because you don't know the answer. No, it is your ally. Because through the technicals, you know the answers, right? Big difference. Big difference. They're not an excuse. They're not a crutch or a fallback or no. They are the facilitation in terms of you're expressing how you are correct in the market. How you're applying the technicals. Like that's the beautiful thing about the technicals, right? And they're respected by the way that we focus on them. It's the same way that and to the T inside the house, like in terms of like backdoor information. That's not the goal here. But it's to provide. It is in terms of it being like it's a Wall Street repeat trying to we're not this isn't a hedge fund. No, that's not the issue. But people who would have that same degree of a criticism, I promise you, would not take a course by the New York Institute of Finance. They wouldn't. So people show up. They wouldn't hear New York Institute of Finance talk about Bitcoin to some of the top future traders on Wall Street. They wouldn't hear that. They're just going to have this fast and loose criticism of what this is or what this isn't, and go to the next station. Go to the next, go put your head in a different Google corner and go figure that out. Because I know some of the top traders. Fact, I know them. I've had other members here, former BlackRock, JP Morgan, et cetera, et cetera. I've watched who does their own technical homework and who doesn't. I've watched people who can beat the market and who can't. I've sat next to and in a functional, very functional, decently high level money capacity, dealt directly with some of the, if not the number one traders, me personally with them. I've seen the questions they ask me. I've seen what's successful, what's not. So the fly-by-night, such and such, cruise dude decides to get in and have an attitude with me about what he thinks of the market versus what I think, dude, ciao. Like, you have no clue. Like, that's it. Unless you've sat with the top traders with money. Money. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, with money. Like, go take your money. Go take your own money to some of the top traders. And you work it with the top traders in the world. You go do that. Then you come back and criticize me. And you won't if you go do that. But the young punk just found a new YouTube station, an idea for somewhere else. Man, whatever. Just don't have time for it. So that's my critique, not towards you at all, Jeffrey, just towards anyone with that mentality. I just like to up the game of everybody here. That's my goal. This is not a joke. Like, good example, Vlad, you go out on the track, right? You're going to go drive your car 130 miles an hour around a corner, right? You're not going to take it to Pep Boys to go get it fixed up before you go roll around a corner. Well, the guy, the guy at Pep Boys, he just fixed my tires. He said this thing could go around a corner at 180. Oh, good, huh? No. We're not going with the Pep Boys, with the hop, whatever. You understand that. So that's important for us when we talk about technicals. Ability to understand and have a comprehensive, complete picture to where it makes sense in terms of overall strategy for 2022, right? To where it makes sense leading into 2023, 24, etc. As we look at cyclical price action, as we look at, let's see here, and shout out to Kuda. What's up, Kuda? What's up? My man, what's up? VIP for a while, what's up? Shout out to all U.S. military. So, boom, 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 right? Cyclical price action. And some of the biggest critiques that I get from people at all are people who refuse to put their nose in a book. If you don't want to, that's fine. But, don't write your own book through different pieces of what you stole from other people. Just don't do it. Just don't do it before you read one entire book. Arguably the most important book on Wall Street. I'm telling you, arguably the most important book on Wall Street. Well, that one's 600 pages. Oh, really? Really? Okay. Yeah, okay. I started reading this book in high school. Okay? It's been a while. I've read it a few times. I started reading this book in high school. Just the truth. Had some cool dudes around me. They wanted to grow up and be traders. And they are big high-level traders right now. They were in high school with me a few years ahead of me. And one of them gave me that book. His dad was using that book or something. Like, what book should I read? I really want to be a trader. In high school, New York Institute of Finance stuff. His dad was an important guy. And so I got that book when I was in high school. So this is a little different. I've been dealing with this stuff for a long time. I like it. It's why I'm in the space. Bitcoin down 2.51%, 41,290. Coffee shot. Just one sec. All right. So just a little bit of plug and play in terms of the overall group dynamic, in terms of the overall approach. What we're going to get here versus somewhere else versus, it's the long-term approach that we want. It's the, who in this group is going to do dynamically well and be on the bottom right. Some of you should be on here right now. I don't know that if I don't know your full story. In terms of your VIP, you're already with the group, right? Right? You may already be on a corner. Some of the VIP who haven't let me know their full story that are just flashed up in a picture here may have, been around Bitcoin since $7 as well, like Angel on top, right? They just haven't shared their story yet. Maybe that's the case, right? I'm not here to really fully evaluate that. I just want more good stories like that and to attract more of that level of competence, to attract more of that level of dignity in the space, because that's how I view like Angel's participation in the market. Just it's a dignified approach, right? It's a strong involvement in the market. It's like with Josh and his participation in the market, like Champ, like put up to a challenge, he did it, boom, 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 and I got dignified through that in terms of the letter that Josh wrote me, the statement he wrote about me. Like London, I paid attention to everything you said. I appreciated it. I put it into practice, and I conquered. And that was it. And he earned $1 million. And so that's just the approach that we want to take here with those strong fundamentals. So I know what we do works, right? And it's just I don't know, because we got some people who take up a lot of time, just a lot of time. Repeat hit on the 38.2. 38.2 on the macro. Ground zero meaning zero to what? To the all-time high. Now, if you guys are micro trading and you're and good night to you, Jeffrey. Looking forward to you upgrading, okay? Upgrade to VIP. I'm going to let you know that. Upgrade to VIP. We would appreciate that. It'd be good. Because you're involved. If you want to trade, you want to develop your skills, upgrade to VIP. All right? We think you can do that. All right? If you're trading, if you're really into the market, you want to invest in your future, upgrade to VIP. Let me know that you're interested in your future. I appreciate you being a part of the stream. And, yeah, I'm going to request that you upgrade to VIP so you can be a part of the VIP exclusive streams here. We appreciate you, okay? As base camp, but it's time to upgrade. All right? For the benefit of the VIP. As we look at this, and I always just say, YouTube allows it and kind of recommends it. We insist upon it. That's just it. Okay? I insist upon it. Just for the top traders. That's just what I want to do. They got questions. They want me to go over something. I'm gonna go over for it with VIP. So, prior wedge formation here, right? Yeah. A little bit difficult of a level in around here. Long time spent. Just, I think, a critical structure in play right now. Critical structure in play for Bitcoin. Heat map underneath. Heat map, right? We've been talking about that heat map for a long time. Orders waiting. Just guaranteed, right? Yeah. Orders waiting at golden pocket. Orders waiting at 50%. We talk about always buying, always selling. Some of you are interested in high leverage positions, options, etc. You want that money to move. You want to make that money tomorrow, right? You do. You do. You want to slam that trade. It's going to move 2%. I'm 100x on that. Good. That's fun. That's no problem with that. You see some different return sheets I've got, etc. I'm all about an 8-second trade that bam is making 45 grand, something like that. That's nice. That's a nice day. Make 10, 15 grand in 8 seconds, 10 seconds, boom, boom. That's nice, right? That's real nice if you can consistently do that, right? And that's the trick, and it's not always easy. So, but that's very much in line with what I personally think is entertaining to me, okay, which is interesting to me. Crypto's doesn't always have that level of volatility to it, right? That we can just trade like that all the time off leverage, right? But it's a different world if you're high on leverage like that. It's a different ball game than this slow kind of methodical approach to, right, to the cyclical price events. And if you have heavier amounts of cash, excuse me, if you have heavier amounts of cash, this cyclical nature may present itself differently than if you're really trying to multiply your cash up. And there is nothing wrong with either of those two scenarios. I'm going to say there's nothing wrong with saying, well, I'm trying to multiply my cash up. Great. That's crypto, right? That's fine. That's a great place to be. Completely been there with, and a lot of people there with larger amounts of cash, right? Yeah, a lot of people there with, well, I got a larger amount of cash and I want to multiply that up as well, right? The larger that your amount of cash becomes, the less you're probably going to be interested in multiplying it. I mean, still, yes, compounded by two, everything else, but you get to a point where your threshold, your interest will shift a bit, right? It just will, right? And you'll understand at some point that the greater your goals are, and I just think of Vlad right now because you've been, you're hitting on leverage, you're entering into a lot of trades that seem very familiar to me. Period. I'll just say that. Okay. Um, with the understanding that multiplying the cash is still multiplying position overall. You're doing well. I mean, you've told me your story. You've done great in crypto, right? It's cool. You're a successful guy, I think, overall that I know. And it's just I appreciate knowing you. But with that said, you also know it's like, well, you get into like institutional hedge fund money, something else like that. You're gonna appreciate the overall cyclical nature, and that's not necessarily what we're about. Everybody wants. And I thought earlier today, I thought, how many 5X's and 10X's did we get in 2021? So many, right? We had so many 5X's and 10X's in 2021. And not that we stopped, I mean, we really stopped bringing them. I mean, because they're important. We just had so many of them that I'm almost like, it's like, well, when do we want to start getting into that in terms of overall, in terms of the overall market condition? It is dependent upon that, I'd say, to an extent, but we still run into the 2X, 5X, 10X just continually. So you guys may have as good of a handle on that stuff as I may want to bring. I'm really selective about some of the projects that I really try and bring to VIP, and I haven't been really laser focused on that the last couple of weeks. I'll just say that. Since New Year's, I haven't been really focused. A couple, I think Project X, Y, or Z went for whatever that is, like if it's CITES or Senate. Well, I'll kind of mention something. Okay, it went up X percentage. Technically, did everyone hit the new startup? We just haven't been really focused on that. What I like to see, let me just tell you in terms of that as we conclude out that conversation, and this is the heat map as we look at it's a directional heat map for the 200 as we would talk about the different levels of Fibonacci's at the 34,500, okay, 50% retracement. Just easy, 34,500. As we talk about a breakout, a preceding level in terms of the Fibonacci levels from here, we've discussed this just plenty. We've discussed plenty, right? The 786, exactly these levels, what they are for VIP. Just that's it, right? Rehit along. Orders are waiting at the 39,835. They just are. They're waiting there, okay? Be the secondary hit along this function while we're really, at least just like constricting in this nice, this nice wave formation. It is nice, we have to say. And we'll just line this out real quickly. Let me go ahead and do this. I think this will be nice for us to look at. Let me go ahead and make the screen look a little bit better for VIP. Let me do this for you guys. Hope you're doing well tonight. Hope everything's going well. I know it is. You guys are good guys. Cool group. There we go. That's nice. Boom, 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 boom. That's a nice looking chart. That's cool. That's nice. Now we have the 100 and the 200 moving averages, right? Purple and orange. Not in that order. We have the 100 and orange. Let's see here. Yeah, the 100 daily moving average and orange. Potentially about to get a crossover over the 200. Okay. Potentially significant. That potential, I say potential because it hasn't happened yet. That was a break where we started to really pick up here right when that crossover was threatened here. Just pick up on this real quickly. Watch this. Where we were threatening to cross over the 100 to the 200, potentially a big deal in July 21st, etc. What do we see? Bam! Right? Yeah. When these were about to cross over. So the notion that these are constricting again, these two lines are constricting again, I'm paying attention to that fact. It really got close. And you guys know with the price action back last summer of 2021, we really had a constriction here really had a constriction in price. This was just a real tight area. Everybody's like, what's going on? This is untradeable, right? It's just so tight, right? So that's to be noted. When we had that constriction here in 2021, the 100 and the 200, right? We had kind of a fail-safe. Something kicked in and bam, right? Interesting. So we're looking at the 200 weekly, looking at the daily chart, and just discussing some different parameters in terms of cyclical price function. The constriction of the wave formation along the designated descending trend line. Wedge. Really, really nice laid out wedge. That's nice, huh? We're deep into the wedge, right? As you would discuss. I'll stop saying right. I'm just want to make sure you guys understand. Like, are you awake? Huh? It's like I don't know what we're. It's I don't know, some level of confirmation. So, as we would talk about trying to keep you guys awake or something. Maybe you're already really awake. Who knows? Maybe you slept. You got your. Maybe you're. If you're wrapped up in a trade, you're probably awake. The worst thing is when you're tired and you're in a trade, and you're like, I need to stay up. It's like, program. You could program. Just really nicely put together wedge. We're a little bit deeply involved in it. Would prefer to break out of one of these, a little bit more tightly wound up in this area, and bam. See that continuation function to the upside. And did not see a clean breakout earlier today. Just did not. We'll go to the 4-hourly real quickly. And I can check on. Now this is what the indicators, and you may know this, Vlad. Let me plug into some of the indicators. When I talk about indicators, some of them are buy sell. And what does that mean? Well, that means on the 4-hourly, this is just bad. I have to report this on the one that I'm testing right now, and it is what it is, because no indicator is gonna work all the time. It's just not. Realize how far we have to get down into this. Just understand on the scale that we were at, right? This is the 4-hourly chart, right? I just hop over to the 4-hourly from the daily, and to really get into the 4-hourly, look at this. We really, really have to really delve into this, huh? Wow, huh? It's a lot. So this generated a buy signal on the 4-hourly. Like all of the indicators that I could find that were worth anything or that people were charging for, told people to buy here, along with all the other, whatever other station or channel I could find, the hyping up this moment, etc. You wanted to catch it down here, right? If you were going to trade that, you wanted to catch it on the return to function. I'm glad we talked about the return to function, at least so you can see it work against kind of against the odds. You kind of feel like that was a move against the odds, like that was a big move back up into that zone. And we discussed that in the back plenty, but I'm glad that you all saw that, because it kind of defied the logic of the market. It went all the way back up there, like, yeah. So I'm glad you were able to see that. I just am, because that's consistent with the data set, etc., that I've been able to put together throughout the preceding weeks for VIP and for my own trading, etc. So as we retest this level, as we look at the overall wedge, as we look at cyclical price action, as we discuss cycles in general, we need to discuss entries clearly. And as these continue to roll, yes, they have an amplitude within them. And I'll say as these waves continue to roll, right? As the price function expresses itself, we do have possible trades within this curvature, essentially the line of support, then to the resistance, the support to the resistance. But the trades within the waves essentially are getting tighter. We had a move of 2%, 2%. So within this overall constriction, and that's consistent here. It's a tighter trading environment right now. Noted the amplitude of the wedge at this level provided a decent trade. A decent trade. We brought you a bull flag, small hitch bull flag. Bam. Descending wedge with a bull flag was nice. Some nice velocity. We haven't seen much velocity of a decent amplitude in a while. Boom, boom. We just haven't seen it. Preceding zone, we were seeing it all the time. This preceding zone around the 30s, bam, bam, like nice, like good stuff. Look at this, all right, 25%. We did this last night, but just to recollect, 18%. Retrace, 10%. Boom, up total 28%, right? Some big moves. So the amplitude function here is important. This became really difficult in here. If you guys remember that, it was really constricted. I tried to make a bull flag out of this portion in here just to rewind the price action and how we were involved in it. Really wanted this bull flag to complete to the upside. We were ready for something positive with that bull flag. And it pushed and it foiled and it drizzled down. It just wasn't a real comfortable time. It was just really so constricted and tight in here. It's like, what's going on? Compared to this price function, just really tight. So if we had to really accurately describe where we're at right now, look at how tight this is. This is tight. That was tight towards the end of the summertime. And here, like, just carved in. We broke down. People kind of flocked, away from Bitcoin. Got a bit scared. I think just kind of is just too far beyond. We stayed with it. It paid off. Boom, boom. Nice moves. And that was, even if you are on leverage and you're doing micro trades on 50x, 100x, whatever you're doing, these are the moves you want. Wham, 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 right? Those are the moves that kind of set off the quarter, right? You want to make your quarter. Yeah, you flash trade, have some fun throughout the week, whatever it is. Yeah, you want to set that Q1 up, right? We want Q1 to look good on paper, right? Yeah. So that's kind of the goal as we're identifying what we're identifying now. You can, throw a little bit more heavily into a position when you're confident it's got some real steam behind it, right? I would anticipate that is the approach. I don't know how you're planning on trading in 2022, but I would see Q1 as a real key feature. We have the accumulation approach, just flat out accumulation at the levels of Fibonacci's. Some people want a dollar cost average into it. Okay, well, more coins at a lower price is a good thing. It just is. So is the expectation of some volatility to the upside. Capiche? So is the ability to short. Without running the risk, unfortunately, we don't have this. Without running the risk of being wiped back out on a leverage position, not going to happen. 25% to the upside, you're cooked. You're cooked on an ETF. You're gonna be hooked. Hooked in the wrong direction, right? You don't want to be hooked that direction. So Bitcoin down 2%, residual market seeing. Let's see the major movers. Let's see the level of Floki just getting killed. Floki getting killed. That's okay. Get it lower. Add another zero to it. Honestly, something like Floki with a pricing cycle, add another 0.0. Add another 0 there. 0. Just do it. That's the way I am with it. Just put another 0 in there. Even if investment exists in it, etc., put another 0 in there. Let people relive the cycle, whatever it's going to be, and just get a better entry. Period. I don't see red as bad. I just don't. You guys may look for it in terms of positioning for shorts. That's fine. And let's see what we got. So range ID within this area. Let's go to the hourly. Going into cyclical. But yeah, I wanted to point out like Gala down 7, 1 down 7, Sand down 6, FXS down 6, Atom down 6, Link down about 5.5 with Sol, AVAX near down about 5 or 4. AVAX and near. ADA down about 4.5. Right. DOT down 4. Now, how's DOT holding up at its level? It's still within the Fibonacci. Still within its range here. Noted the ones that are still within their range on the Fibonacci. Sol, and on different time frames. I think on the, let's see, on the daily, we've dropped down below. Right? We go to the candlesticks, it'll show us what? The price action at the lower time frames. The daily looks like we're pushing beyond the Fibonacci, right? The candles will always show us, we would like to think will always show us the price action at the lower time frames. So it'll be consistent with like the 4 hourly. Still at that same level. Key levels to hold for Sol. Entries, traders are what? Are trading. Boom. This is an active target for Sol right now. Key acquisition level 1, 2 preceding times. So the market is in play right now. Nice to see. I like to see it. How does it become in play? The price has to get there. How does it get there? It has to go down to there to pick up people's orders. So, yeah, not a real aggressive day to the downside. Luna holding relatively strongly. It was nice to see Luna last night after our deep discussion into Luna. It was nice to see Luna put some gains on. That was nice. Pretty cool. Not bad, up 4 or 5% yesterday, down about 1% today. That story just won't quit. I like it. I don't want the story to quit at $100. That psychological level for me at $104 or $103. Don't quit at $100, right? It's too. I don't know. It is too just perfunctory, or what would we say? Just it's a round number, technically indicated or not. It just seems like, okay, everyone just quit at $100. It's a more developed and sophisticated utility to me in terms of the overall value to the market. That's why I have that impression. That's why I have that viewpoint. It's a nice project, even if they don't want you to think it is, with their lunatic or whatever they're doing with the group. They're trying to masquerade with whatever they're into, but it's a very nice project. It's got an incredible utility to it. It really does. So I'm a big fan of this chart right now. Bullishly indicated, but the more that we get into this area, it becomes increasingly difficult for us to have a real expectation of a significant move to the upside in the form of a continuation, unless it's part of an overall larger pattern. It's just, or we could also say, unless it is leading to a more significant level of a price target. I'd say that as well. But typically they would be confluent. Like we would have liked to have seen this break out at this level here, and around that 51, really pushed at this, if you guys remember that, really ready to go on it. And we covered the breakout potential. What would have been required for this level? We drew the parallel here, and this was a key feature of what we focused on. I appreciate this personally. The comparative of the preceding level and the journey up to this specific time frame here back in September, October, with a nice move to the upside, and what occurred up and over similar formation, almost a reverse cup and handle, essentially cuppage formation. And what was required to get us up and over for a significant entry was really nicely carved in 1 hourly candles. Boom, 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 boom. We just didn't get that here. We just didn't get it. Heavy entry wasn't indicated. So we've been looking for an indication of heavy entry. We have been. Today's move up was a recapture into the wedge on the micro time frames. It wasn't an indication, was not an indication for a heavy entry. It just wasn't. To me, it was not. Shout out to Freddie. Me telling him just patience. Miyagi style, patience. When I see it, I'll let you know. When you see it, you let me know. If you see something I don't, that's cool. Down here, I let you know. And that's printable cash. I would tell you a move like this is printable cash. You can have one move like this throughout the year, and people get into this. I want to multiply my money by 2,000. Okay, cool. That's fine. We want, and I tell people it's kind of the McDonald's theory. I just tell people this, and they don't like it, they don't connect with it, but they probably don't understand it as well. It's like, you know how things go in waves? Yeah, well, they kind of go in like, I tell them, if you can have like 2 golden arches literally a year, you're going to have a good year. Like McDonald's makes money. Just think of it that in that regard. You don't need to like multiply your money by 1,000 or whatever, whatever your deal is. If you can have a couple golden arches like this, you're going to be okay. That's a good year. So catching it here is crucial. Catching it in here is crucial. Was at JP Morgan live during this point. Bitcoin may never go back over $40,000 again. The big guys get it wrong. We got to try and get it right. Copy that. And I know what they were looking at. We had a special stream on that, timing, Fibonacci, sequencing, and timing. I almost know exactly what they were looking at. And if they weren't looking at that, it would have explained his position nearly perfectly in terms of it may not go back up over 40. Very interesting position he took there. And Bitcoin is like a mastermind at doing that to people. It's over. It is a mastermind at getting people to believe, well, it's over. So, and we're caught in that paradigm a little bit right now, where at least we like it to have some hope, but that's how it gets people to believing, well, it's over. People try here, try there, and no. Copy that. So, let's shout out to Luke. Hope Luke is doing well in the back. Great charts. Great guy. Hope family is good. Now you got some family stuff going on. Kent Gifford in the house. Big prayers going up for the fam. What's up? Daniel, shout out. Hope everything's good. Being back from, if you are back from Iraq. And shout out to all U.S. military. Ambrosio, hope that motorcycle is treating you well and you're treating it well. Keep that thing tuned up. Keep the wheels on the ground on that thing. AJ Crypto, hope you are doing well in your executive lifestyle. Brad, hope you're well. Haven't heard from you in a while. When I see people just pop up on the stream, I shout out to them a bit. I just do. It's important. Big reminders of what's important this year, 2022. It's nice. It is. It's a beautiful thing. All right. So, seeing a lateral pickup area as we would discuss the Fibonacci's, we did hit the golden pocket. There was a coincidence earlier on with the golden pocket. And let's get into, yeah, that was a nice hit within the framework of just the 65th percentile. We're having another hit event in along with that 65th currently now. Backing off a surrender of that level and trying to express price and along that same 41,368 or thereabout. So buyers backing off just a touch, becoming a little bit less aggressive in terms of their pickups. The bulk of orders at this level may not satisfy the exchange's holding price at that position. You understand that? The bulk of demand at this specific level on the entirety of the exchanges for Bitcoin, the bulk of the orders at this level may not be sufficient, or not sufficient, they're insufficient to hold price at this level. So when I say buyers are backing off of that, the bulk demand is not there to maintain the 65th exactly. it's capitulated a bit. Okay, so that would be the appropriate way to understand that, to interpret that. And if you have a different viewpoint, I would love to hear it. But it's the bulk of the orders. It's the overall market, the overall demand. Not necessarily like, well, there are specific orders that specific traders and a few of the traders have decided to just place right in here. If you're on a different coin, maybe, and you're a big player in that specific coin, maybe, right? Well, we decide to really place down in here with a large order, we'll pick it up. Bitcoin is a big dog. So the bulk of the orders are insufficient to hold it in this 41,368 to 41,523. That golden pocket. The overall demand is insufficient to hold that level. So let's go to the line. The line on the hourly. And we're discussing this specific cyclical range price function of Bitcoin. And these are going to change with the time frames. And they're not going to adjust when you change time frames. None of your lines will. Automatically with the newly indicated lines. Very important. Support resistance indicated right now would be what? Let's draw through this feature here. Support resistance indicated right now would be undeniably right down into our price and target here. That's where this specific wedge is headed, to that 34,570. Technically, it's heading straight for it. Can it frustrate and push laterally here at this level? 100,000% absolutely. Do we need to know as an absolute fact whether or not it will to participate in the market? No. Is that required of us to participate in the market? We have to be right as to the hour, day, date, and second, and price function to be able to participate in the market. That's ridiculous. That's going to be a tough year, or a quick year if you're into that, right? If you're trading along that framework, it's going to be a tough year. That's not the name of the game. It's just not. Resistance, support. Yeah, technically indicated. It looks nice. I like this chart. Technically, I like this chart a lot. I'll remove this failed cup and handle. I don't like cup and handles. I don't like to trade them at all. I do not like to trade them at all, ever. I'm just telling you, ever. There is not one I have seen that I have wanted to trade. It's like they're just weak patterns. Preceding level was part of a bull flag formation on the larger time frames. I don't know. Angel may have taken off. You know where he may have gone? He may have gone to. What are we talking about? He may have run off to the French Riviera. I have no idea. I brought up the French Riviera last night. I showed you guys an island out there, a great place to go. For all I know, he took off. If he did, if you're out there, you may be on a jet somewhere listening to me right now. Congratulations. I hope you're having fun. Be nice to the stewardess and make sure that Eden Rain, your baby girl, has a good time up in the air. That's all I'll say. How about that if you took off? It's possible. He just up and took off. London said there's a great island in the south of France, the French Riviera, and boom, he's gone. Well, that's all right. We will be here. I will still be broadcasting. I will still be doing the show, so you can tune in and see what you need to see wherever you're at. Gotta do. It's got to be that way. It's 2022. It's cool stuff. Now, the indicated price function will, how do we play these? Well, just, some people say, well, just buy some Bitcoin every week. Well, we're always buying, we're always selling. We have orders above. If this wanted to crunk out to the upside, right? Would you want to sell? If it spikes, well, we would like an overall trend to develop. If you're leaving like Angel could have left, you have to consider, if you're leaving like Angel could have left, he could just, the whole amount of his trades could just be there, and that's period, and I'll deal with it when I get back. Or he could set his buy orders on the macro, worth discussing, hammering in at lower levels, covering any upside exposure, and he could sell his sell orders right here. Boom, 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 boom. Selling, potentially however he wants to do it. He can sell more as it goes higher. He can maintain position. That's the nice part about the market, is you guys get to kind of tell me who you are, how you want to run things. I like to buy more the lower I go. I like to sell more the higher I go. Buy more the lower you go. Sell more the higher you go. That's the equation that I personally like. What do you do if you run out? Well, you can still sell the higher you go. Well, how would you do that? Well, you short. Right? So people always say, well, the price went down. Good, buy. You need to buy low. Well, it went down even more. Good, buy even more. Well, it really, really went down. Well, then you really, really need to buy more, right? That much more. So interesting, important information. The buy, the sell. Would like a shout out. Who is in the crew tonight? I want to know who's here. It's kind of quiet. It's 3:28. It's just, I guess it's quiet when Angel's just chilling. He's probably listening. Who knows? And, excuse me. He just wants to know. Be watching the crowd tonight. He may want to know who in VIP. Anyone else going to contribute? Oh, what if he wants to know? Anyone else going to contribute? He's the $1,000 super chat king. He just sits there sometime. He just want to know. Anyone else in the community? Anybody? Maybe it's just him. It could be. It could just be. There's one real serious cat out there. I don't know. He got involved in Bitcoin at $7.79. He up all the time. He's watching the market 24/7. Granted, he could be on a jet right now, but he might want to know. Anybody else? Lonely at the top, isn't it? There's a few of you in and around that zone. I just like this chart. I'm going to keep saying that, but I like this chart. It's nice. Technically, it's nice. It's getting where it looks nice to me. I don't say that all the time. I mean that. Let's do this. I like the white. I like the yellow. That white looks nice. Angel just does that sometimes. He will just listen. He will listen. And he does listen. Not everybody is capable of listening. Vlad seems to be pretty good at that. He hangs out and listens too. That's cool. That's just chilling in the back, right? Trying to figure out the... I don't know why we keep saying right tonight. Is reminding me of like a Canadian approach. Do we have anyone from Canada that's listening? I should wonder that. Almost. What do they always say? Eh? You doing well, eh? You having a good time in the market, eh? I have no idea. Minnesota is kind of in that same realm. No idea or clue why. I'm getting that Canadian vibe. Do we have anybody? I almost feel like we have somebody from Canada that's just watching. It wouldn't surprise me at all if someone from Canada just chimes in and says, "How you doing, eh?" That's funny. Covet your failure. But this is what I like. I could just have an entire stream where I talk about wrong. We could do that. I keep saying right, we talk about wrong. And it's important. The price of Bitcoin, the target is, and it's going to 30,000. Wrong. We had that earlier with Jeff. That's okay. Drawing charts that look like this and the unequivocal reliance upon price function. Take a picture. This is what's going to happen to Bitcoin. Wrong. Compare that with staying very involved with the technicals on an hourly or even closer time frame basis, being able to adjust to a market that adjusts every day, 24 hours a day. That's right. That's what we want to do. But you said it's going to 105,000. The completion of the bull flag price target was 105,000. I said $105,000 until Austria decided to say, we're going to tax your Bitcoin. Technically indicated $105,000. So we adjust within this time frame. After a sovereignty comes in and attacks the market, bam, we adjust. No problem. Let you know. I hate to say, but it's kind of like a double top. People hate those videos. They just hate them. I do the videos for VIP and I'll shoot some short ones for people. They just don't like them. I get poor reviews. No one wants to watch it. Like, that's fine. No one wants to get the double top right. That's okay. There's a small crowd of people who pay attention to those things. And I do tell people a bit what you want to hear at times, but I'm always going to throw in, if it does look bullish, we're going bullish with the understanding that you got the 23.6% underneath. And by the way, the 23.6 played for 50% last time. Just the Fibonacci's, your pricing targets. There's no reason not to be excited about the market, especially on something that's really playing well. I mean, look at that chart. That's a nice chart. I just know that. That is a really nice chart. It's a nice station with you guys around. It just is. It's just funny, the notion that as the BlackRock, JP Morgans, Credit Suisse, etc., the big block banks delve more into the Reddit crews and all the Wall Street bets and the informational online, I am 100% cognizant of the fact that there is probably a Joe Blow here and there on this side and that side of the pond who has to rewatch these streams. Congratulations. I hope your job is going well. I just know that. I know that there are people who are going to pay attention to what's being publicly, socially disseminated in the trade groups. There just are. On the off chance you're watching this today, good morning. Fantastic day, I hope, is in front of you and occurring right now. And to the extent that you're forced to rewatch these at a later date, I am very sorry. I hope you're learning. Sincerely, you're probably learning things you didn't learn or you haven't learned at your place of employment. I'm talking to potential BlackRock or Credit Suisse people who haven't learned to trade. How do I know that? Because we've had former BlackRock employees in VIP from some of, if not the largest investment houses in the world in our VIP. They're no longer here. They would not do their own work and their own TA, so they got kicked out. Fact. Candidate VP level, BlackRock, JP Morgan. Oh, got kicked out. Truth. You guys realize that? A candidate level VIP JP Morgan BlackRock booted. That was the option. They wanted to become a full-time trader and learn. Or they were being invited maybe to a VP position back at BlackRock or JP Morgan or something. Kicked out. Not wanting to do their own TA. Ciao. Incapable of doing it? Maybe. To me, it's more about attitude. Do you want to do it? You want to get it done? I'll help you get it done if you want to get it done. So few people know how to trade. This is not a rag session on a BlackRock or JP Morgan. I got some buddies, some good people that I know. Shout out to Big Mike. Look at Luke, huh? He's here, huh? Luke knows that, huh? Doesn't he? What's up, Luke? Because you know it's true, huh? And you know they don't know how to trade. The ones that I know that know how to trade, whether or not they're VPs or not, guys, I'm talking about some big top shelf dudes at some of the big places. If they learn to trade, a lot of times it's outside of those places. And it's some of the ex-guys from JP Morgan, some good guys I know. It's like they were bigwigs there. They're bigwigs, you know, now, whatever they're doing in business. But they learn to trade by spending time in like a master trader after or something like that. And so, yeah, Luke knows. He's like, London is not lying. It's interesting, huh? VP level, you just wouldn't think that they're the kind of guys that would get up on CNBC and tell everybody what's going on with. They're polished up. They got the suit. They got the credentials, the CV, the background, or the corner office desk in Manhattan or on Fifth Street, Wall Street, wherever they're at. Literally, but they can't do. They couldn't tell you a good place to buy Bitcoin, or they just couldn't do it. What does that mean, huh? They'll talk around the framework of the essentials. They kind of reinforce the institutional nature. They got the vocabulary down, everything else, and that's important. It is important as we look at the space. They're capable of reinforcing some of the popularized notions in the market. They have the slang down of it's a dead cat bounce. We're really concerned about the correlation between blah, blah, blah. They'll get the basic vocabulary down enough to probably give an interview on CNBC, but ask them legitimately, could you do it? Could you do it? Could you trade this? Could you do a trade? Just and it's odd because they would have potentially all the cash that they would need to do the trade. Because that would be one limitation. We don't have the I could trade it here, but we need the only caveat that we have is you need the backup cash. You kind of need to reserve your capital and be able to hammer in at lower levels, right? Yeah. So those would be the guys with that capacity, completely either unwilling or incapable to do that work. It's just odd. What does that mean? It's the same guys you have to ask. It's the same guys that are up, JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, whomever, literally saying, well, Bitcoin could be worthless, and they're buying it for their clients and pushing. It's just, it's odd. It's strange, huh? We have seen some things, huh? You just couldn't make this stuff up. Big shout out to Luke. He may never say hello again because I want to shout out to him. Boom, 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 boom. The man, what's up? Look at this nice family. How beautiful of a family. That's awesome. kiddos. Beautiful family. What's up, what's up, what's up? Great at charts. Look at this. That was the vacation. That was such a cool picture. I was so glad you gave me that picture. You gave us, the VIP, that picture, huh? Very, very cool. Look at it. That is just awesome, huh? Too cool. Love it, huh? Look at this. Look at this. That is just awesome. Look at this. Unbelievable. How beautiful. Oh, look at this, huh? This is just awesome. No way. Presents, huh? This is so cool, huh? We got to get her a VIP shirt or a badge or something, huh? She does need one. Everyone needs a little VIP something. It just, how beautiful. Huh? So glad I looked at that. How awesome. Here we go. The New York Attorney General seeks testimony from Donald Trump and family members after finding significant evidence of financial fraud. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Someone is after the former president. That's something else. You know what else is interesting? The founder of Ethereum. This is just going to be our commentary for the evening. We have to talk about this in case you missed it beforehand. If you just tuned in, Fable of the Dragon Tyrant. Okay, I don't know what that is, but Ethereum, because he's the founder of Ethereum. He wrote the code. Vitalik has now decided that disparities in economic success between men and women are far larger once they get married and have children. Okay, so awesome, TA London. Thanks, eh? That's hilarious. No problem, eh? We're doing good, eh? That's good. Disparities in economic success. Look what Vitalik says. We have to go through this. This is VIP. We got to stay up to date because this is a big deal. As we look at Luke and family, beautiful family. So the economic disparities between men and women are far larger once they actually become married and have children. That means the women are busy having children and they're not out working while the men are working. It's interesting. But listen, once marriage and children come into the picture, a synthetic womb would remove the high burden of pregnancy, significantly reducing inequality. And my wife wants a mustache and 23-inch biceps. She just does. And she needs a mustache and 23-inch biceps. So I'm interested in what Vitalik has said because it sounds like he's creating and in favor of decentralized children. Congratulations, Vitalik. I am going to pass on the next order for Ethereum. I am. I'm going to decide to do that. I want another project. I just do. Just as a matter of me centralizing my core rationale and fundamental on the planet, I'm going to centralize, and I don't want decentralized children. I don't. It's okay. I'll take an ingest or otherwise. This was in response to we just got to cover this stuff. At some point, it's worth talking about. It's interesting stuff. We could have decentralized children. I don't know. Would be so much more worried about population. We should be much more worried about population collapse. All right. Well, all right. We have a lot to worry about near. Nice project, huh? Nice project. Nice chart. Look nice. This is a nice chart. People who are into the technical, it's well laid out. It's nicely demonstrated. The constriction here, really liking the constriction. We're deeply wound into this wedge. And we have a support level function here and here. I'm comfortable with that level of support. And I have to state that because when you're formulating a wedge, a lot of times we're tempted to grab the interior here or the interior up here. Look at the left part of the line. We want to grab the interior level here. And we want to draw immediately across, just by nature. You all understand it. Luke and I have had this discussion a lot. And we want to draw immediately from whatever we have originally along any hitch on the way up, essentially a flagpole if it were to play out on a flag. We want to grab this and immediately draw across to the first level, and we wind up pushing a lot of times. And so I'm just more inclined, not that it's always incorrect, but I'm more inclined to take the first pivot after we've established resistance. I'm more inclined to take this hit and thereafter to establish this secondary move as the primary function or patterning that's in play. I hope you guys caught that. I'm not as inclined to take this position or take this position or take this position. I don't want anything that's part of the move to whatever the interval high is. I don't want that, because kind of like the recapture that we saw into the wedge, I have seen, in terms of the data, I've seen these continue to push. And people get overexcited about entry, okay? And there's a fine line sometimes. Sometimes you have to pick it up. But I'm more inclined, however uncomfortable it is or it looks or it feels, I'm more inclined to pick this up here, where I'm pointing to here, and waiting for the secondary level to tell me where it's going. Just while we have this, waiting for the secondary level to tell me where it's going, then bam, I have this. I'm just more inclined to do that. It may be a more conservative approach, but when we carve into, and I've gone back and forth on this a little bit, but the more that we, and it may be dependent upon the condition of the market and the style of the market. Like in early 2021, bull flags were playing from the line of resistance across the top. We discussed this. It's just the truth. As we talk about the bull flags in early 2021, we're playing the flagpole repeat from the top of the prior resistance. They just were in the market. It was nice. They were. Then in the second half of 2021, they moved and they were repeating this from the level of support, which made it really tight. Things started to get tighter in the market, because then all of a sudden you had a breakout from this level. We started having to look at, instead, because we played so many bull flags, we did, from this breakout and repeating to the up, so we know how they were playing early in 2021. Then it just tightened up on us, and it was like, well, we have a breakout to play from here, and Luke knows, especially, he loves to hunt bull flags. Great TA, you know that. Shout out, what's up? So this tightening that occurred, wherein now we're just repeating this from here, became problematic, particularly as we started to get bull flags that looked like this. And this was even a further indication that we were really tightening up. Something on the market got reprogrammed, and now we're going to repeat this flagpole from, let's say, something that pushed out and looked more like this. And the channel, this channel formation here on the bull flags, started what? Started to become higher. Okay, the amplitude started to be greater in these in comparison to the bull flags, in comparison to the flagpole, right? The flagpole of the bull flag. So the repeat function was after we had from the support line, this is how things started to tighten up, and we just noticed this. After we would break through if we were looking for a bull flag play, after the breakthrough of the resistance, to get in, let's say we would repeat the flagpole to the top, it might be a move like up to here, because there's so much amplitude on the flags. This is how much things tightened up towards the end of 2021. So we're looking for a break away from this constriction. As I talk about, where do we draw in maybe those technicals, maybe the technical approach, it did transform a bit. We were a little bit more fast and loose early in 2021 with the primary cycle, Bitcoin up to 65,000. 64,86310, right? 65,000. And maybe we've adjusted a bit in terms of how we're drawing. Technicals evolve, period. They have. We've watched them Our pricing targets, our entries, our strategy has to evolve with the market. We have to pay attention to what's going on because this created a scenario as bull flags started to look like this, wherein we break resistance, we confirm, and by the time we were looking for an entry into this level, we only had up to here to book a trade because the bull flag, the flagpole was repeating from now the support in the channel line. Essentially, this channel, this downward sloping channel, had increased so much relative. And as the flagpole got shorter and shorter, it's like, what are we doing? You're taking away the trades from everybody. I mean, guys who like to trade bull flags, we can't trade these anymore. You don't have any room express here between the, and the odd thing about it was this. The odd thing about it is we look at potential for manipulation. What's really changing in the market? Is it really the participants or not? How? Let's just talk about it. It's interesting discussion because on something that looks like this, how are you still getting people to enter in and push this thing up? With that tight of a margin between after you confirm, move up and above, you need some momentum, etc., and you're telling me the guys are stepping in at this level here just to complete up to here? You see what I'm saying? Like a real bull flag with a real nice amplitude to it. Yeah, okay. You're going to throw something together. You're going to power in. You're going to see the market start really hammering into this. Buyers are really attracted to this. But when they started playing like this, we just have to talk about it because we'll go through good and bad, parts of 2022. We just will. We want to capture on the good ones. We want to talk about the condition, nature of the market, how the technicals are evolving, how we have to change our strategy up, right? That's what we do. So this incentivizes people when the technicals are stronger or more in our favor. The notion that when we had really curtailed technicals, and Luke, you definitely know this, right? And you understand what's the incentive to get involved in something that's just that's gonna give you a 1.5% to the upside. I mean, and that's what it makes you question really what's going on in the market as we understand the market. Now we have a more critical eye. This may be part of the critical. I said we'll critically look at the technicals. This would be a critical look at the technicals in line with what was kind of promised originally with the stream. Okay. But as we would look at this, you're telling me there's enough of a buyer interest to push up, and this is just it, to push up, and this is what's contradictory about it, to push the price up after the breakout to confirm, to push up and above a 1.2% entry in this area from here to here. You're telling me that's even going to cover the order book spread bid ask on any exchange? No. So when you look at something like this and it's completing, you start to look at it critically and you start to really fashion yourself a little differently in terms of, what are they asking us to trade? Because I can't trade that. I mean, yeah, I can get in down here, but you have to adjust. It's like if we hunt bull flags, we want to go through, that's our MO. That's what we want. And Luke just loves this part, huh? The bull flag that I have drawn, what? Comes down exactly to our 86% custom Fibonacci. It does, doesn't it? But it's just funny, huh? A lot of things to do, huh? But it's humorous, right? Because that is our level. And of course, I would draw it to that level. But if that's your entry into the price action, makes a bit more sense. It's just the notion that you're going to get it up and above and complete the whole nature of a kind of a misconstructed. It's just out of proportion. It becomes out of proportion. So we prefer. That was funny. We prefer. Let's see. We prefer strong, extraordinarily outperforming technicals. We just do. We want to return to that in the market. We want to get there. Now, we don't care if we get there from here. Let's say here. We don't care where it is. We don't care if it's another week or 2 weeks. We don't care. I don't care if it's another month or 2 months. I don't care. I like the crypto space. I like the community. I like the crowd. I like the atmosphere. I like that we can point out like the Vitalik, Ethereum founder, and be like, I don't know. Maybe they're working on something else. I don't know, like the Near project or something, right? Like maybe there's some people who are throwing something together. Like this looks cool. I understand the different utility, etc. Still very confident. If we need to sit down and program an Ethereum or a Bitcoin, if we needed to, in like honestly, in a month with the right personnel, that would be a long period of time for us to need to sit down and reformulate the entirety of it. Okay. I'm just going to say that as a matter of fact. Am I incentivized to do that right now? No. Could I be? Maybe. Is that hot on my list to do? Not particularly. Yeah, and they're superstars. They are. I'm not taking away from that whatsoever. I've worked with a lot of some almost world renowned. I have spent some time with some world renowned programmers, etc. So that's just the truth. Interesting dudes, smart guys. So it's not like the concept is there for blockchain. The concept makes sense. Was it Visa just said that Solana was? Who said this? Bank of America just said that Solana was the Visa of blockchain. Interesting. The Bank of America just said in a formalized statement, something along the lines of interview or otherwise, that Solana is the Visa of blockchain. That's a big deal. If they're really viewing it as that, to the extent that Bank of America can make those statements and back them up with their in-house, really developed sourcing, etc. But it does indicate to us that there may be some institutional levels of interest in Solana that may guide the technical approach that we might see in terms of some pattern behavior that we would like to be a part of. Right now in the market, it is the more conservative, or depending on how you look at it, more conservative, more aggressive, but the nature that we are needing to be involved at our pricing targets. Nothing has really changed for us except for the fact, good gosh, my pups have just, my dogs always get a little bit riled up at some point during the evening. Around 4 o'clock, it's okay. We like pups. We like pups. What's up, Baby Doge? How's Baby Doge doing? Bum, 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 bum. Baby Doge. I have to go. And I'm not going to go and deal with the dogs. They're going to be dealt with. They will be dealt with. Now, I think if I go to what's trending, what's happening, what's trending, I thought Baby Doge was trending. I'll take a look at some of this stuff. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. What's this? Bitcoin. Bitcoin ATMs. All right. I thought that, what are these apes doing? They're just chilling, huh? NFT. Oh, update. I do have a VIP card. I do. I have a VIP card. Now, it is kind of a prefab mode. I did not get with the U.S. Open people for the card. We discussed it. It didn't happen. They're busy, etc. So what was the fallback? Well, I do have an NFC-enabled, really nice black and gold, right? That looks like the, there we go again, eh? That looks like the YouTube station, the primary banner, that black and gold that we always use. I have a card like that with NFC capacity, but I don't like the NFC chip on it. So that, and I'm looking at Rock Designs, who does work for, what is that? Porsche and BMW and some other big clientele. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. That's kind of cool. So, but I do have a meeting with the U.S. Open guy, crew, etc. The logo for this was of interest immediately. Like, let's get together next week on NFTs. I mentioned a collaboration potential for something on NFTs. Very hot in the space, so I'm glad to report maybe we'll get into something with NFTs with that crew. They're extremely talented in terms of design, etc. As we look at all the different NFTs and styles and everything else, and I've shared with you, Luke, a little bit about There's some different ideas from here to there in terms of different ideas or projects, whatever we can do. Happy to share those with VIP in general. Anyone who would like to know some different ideas. Another red day still in range. That's one heck of a roller coaster. You have to look at this as we would discuss the notion of cycles, and this is me too. Yeah, Freddie's happy. I know Freddie's like, we got to do 5L. I'm like, man, just relax. Just hold on. Patience, Danielson. But as we look at the cycles, cyclical action down to sunspots, we see this. We see this roller coaster. We see the notion of a range, limited range. This is one heck of a roller coaster to be on. We agree, huh? At some point, it's going to want to reestablish some upside, some climb to it. And hopefully it's with some velocity, because right now that's one heck of a track to be on. It is constricting. I like that it's constricting. Right into the 34,570. You can do the diagnostics on it, but it's just there. Just looking at the prior. Let's see, 2018, 19, 2019, 20. And what did you want out of each of these? If you could get it. You definitely wanted. Boom. Golden pocket. Nice. I love how the technicals apply over to like the NASDAQ, to the Dow, etc. When you really plug in. I know you guys have looked at some of those fundamentals because I mentioned them. Just see, well, you hit the golden pocket, you hit the 78.6, you hit the 86, you hit the. It's being able to stay focused, and not all. Well, just what happened? What just happened? Okay, it's being able to position yourself aside from a standard weekly dollar cost average. Well, every week I'm going to put $10,000 every week into Bitcoin. I've just decided I'm going to take half my salary in Bitcoin. All right. But if you see bull here, maybe we'll want to be on a leverage position. Yeah, I'd say we want to kick into, a leverage position when we see this. I can't put it back there. I just can't do that. When we see the bull, we want to kick into a leverage position. It's the way we trade, but this guy right here, we really want to kick into some leverage. We just do. It helps make the year. It helps. It is what we do. We enjoy returns. So when we see that in the charts, and we got to pay attention on it, that's what we want to accomplish. That's why we are patient, because that's a phenomenal return. And we can do that through the bull coins. You guys understand the bull coins, the bear coins, or the ETFs. You don't have to write an option. You can. You can have the exchange do it for you and just simply trade into a coin that's already taken care of. It simplifies life. It does. Not necessary per se, but it's maybe it simplifies it too much. Maybe you want it a little more complicated on the consistent. So I'm liking the way the chart is looking. I haven't said that really before. That's a new. The technical conformance is there, and it's nice because we have been discussing these pattern formations, the double curve. etc. We're just getting a good indication of what is occurring. Not ideal that we're towards the end of the apex here. It's just clearly defined. At the same time, it's clearly defined. So we have the advantage of being in a clearly defined pattern right now with some internally consistent structuring. Luke digs through the earth for a living. Geo wizardry. He literally, big huge machinery is involved in going into the planet at different levels. He's extraordinarily brilliant and very intelligent. And sometimes I'll say something and I will think to myself, I may have just said something that sounded halfway intelligent. And I can imagine someone like Luke, who's really brilliant enough so that he's been licensed and privileged, however he is, to tear open the earth, at very large levels. Have you seen what Luke does? And so I know he's one of the guys at school, the class, and everything else that did really well. He's given the license to rip open the planet, by whoever is in charge of that. So when I say something, hopefully there's one thing out of like 100 that Luke is like, well, London has said something that sounds intelligent. This is why I'm part of the group, I suppose, because we try and maintain a little bit of that. I say with a little jest, because I know you're a smart guy, absolutely, and I try and maintain that composure a bit without being too formal in to that regard. It's not really. We're in crypto to have a good time. We like the group, but we also like to technically get into it in terms of the strategy. We did discuss that as well. And it does bear repeating in terms of the nature of our group versus the other groups, is that we have a strategy. Overall strategy. Don't care if the 200 weekly wants to play out. Fine. Is it going there? You drew this from the 20. It technically indicated with previous price action at that level. We have our different levels of the Fibonacci, etc. And so ideally, we'd like to see bull flags. We'd like to see this return of the cyclical nature. And I'm just going to bring this up again, that it's just, shout out to Freddie. Shout out to Freddie. It's just built within the pricing dynamic. Now, it's not the if, it is the when. It has been the when, question mark, when, for many, many years. So it's not as consistent as like the sunspot graph that we have and chart that we have. But for many, many years, and back on before this, and the time frame may not be as accommodating as we currently want. That's part of the patience of the market, Warren Buffett style. The market is a mechanism by which profits are delivered to the patient over the impatient. That's what we have to conquer. That's what we get to focus on as a group. That's what we remind each other of. I like this. I hope you guys like this. It's looking solid, isn't it? This specific 200-week heat map looks nice on it as well, I'll have to say, with even this structuring underneath. I just don't say this all the time. I just like the chart. I like the way it's looking. I can certainly dislike a chart and the way that it's looking, and just don't like these technicals, etc. Variability along this line noted. Likelihood of push beyond this line of indicated resistance If we push laterally on this Fibonacci, we're going to get into an interesting decision for the buyers, you included. Did not see like bull in terms of, I got all the indicators in the world today telling me buy, buy, buy. It's just been a difficult. Did you break a level of resistance? You did. You had another one above you. Going to want to see some sort of a pattern formation here that's really indicative of a larger expression of price rather than just another push beyond another level of resistance. We have pushed so many times. I think that's fair. We have pushed so many times here, far and away, further out, etc. I want to see a pattern develop that has, because at this point the popularized, let's talk about this. At this point, the popularized understanding of this pattern would be it's going to break resistance and it's going to return to 69,000. Really? I'd rather spend a little more time here, but just understand why it becomes interesting. We can go through this. This is a nice wedge. This is developing into something of a magnitude that it could have some impact to the upside. The difference, this one will bite a little bit. The difference, I don't know. If you really want to talk, yeah, and that's okay. Resistance, support, resistance, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So we can talk about the smaller wedge versus this wedge, or we can put it into this kind of a context to be like, hold on, that's a big monster of a wedge, big monster move out. We set that here with this real nice move, and a lot of good followed. So an internalized falling wedge, pattern within a pattern. So that's an important diagnostic to go through technically. Absolutely. As we would have a, let's see, as we would have any expectation of the move from here and the move from here. And that's an important diagnostic to go through. So Luke, if you have any questions, you let me know. You got any other coins you want to go over or anything else like that? I'm comfortable with pricing targets, compounding down into this. I don't like that we're low within this necessarily. We got about this comparatively low into this microstructure here. We're at about the same comparative level. We're a little bit lower because this is a little bit taller. Right, this has more amplitude to it than just this. So the area in here, even if it's the same area, is going to be smaller in a ratio function to the higher amplitude here. The overall amplitude is, say, 100 here, and we have 5 right here. The amplitude here is probably 200, and we have 5 here. In terms of the amplitude of the space in this area. Say this is twice as tall as this. So this would be, let's say, a 100 amplitude. This would be 5. This is probably a 200 amplitude, and this would be 5. So relatively speaking, we're deeper into this one. That's fair. One down, gallop down. Gala digging deeply in past into its next level of the Fibonacci. Nice. Amplitude, ample fourth finally surrendered down, hitting Fibonacci's. People accumulating again for the next feature. No problem. Link didn't really want to take off. Sand. Pushing. We're just at that critical moment where things are thinking about going down to the next level of Fibonacci. It's a crucial moment in the market. FXS, pretty big back off through its 100 and 200 EMA. On into Fibs. Atom looking strong, huh? Atom's looking pretty strong. Atom looking stronger than, let's just say Atom looks stronger than Sol. If Sol pops back up, it'll look stronger than Atom. Let's see. But Atom just looking, Cosmos looking really strong. ADA capitulating back into its wedge. Didn't need to see that. Come on, ADA. DOT. Dusk. Wow. I see this and I just think, wow. Flat top. Wow. Nice. A lot can happen from a flat top. Interesting to buyers. Absolutely. We look for flat tops on the 4 hourly. That looks nice. That's attractive to buyers at these levels. Rose. Essentially another super trend throw over, capitulated thus far in line with expectations, technical expectations. AVAX has been pretty resilient. We can make that chart look a little bit better. Let's just do this. Let's clean up AVAX a little bit. Let's just put some fibs on. Let's do that. Sushi just really low. Would seem like really low. A lot of competition moved into the sushi space, didn't it? Certainly did. Everything got an exchange. That pre-assembled software just got distributed very easily. Very easy to set up. Exchange software just, it's not a big deal anymore. AXS about to re-hit in the process of Mana stepping down fibs. It's that second option I brought up last night. The guy who's, oh look, they've set the range. Oh good, I like that. 50% off or 60% off, 75% off. That's just going on right now. Floki just getting absolutely hammered. Matic trying to hold its line. It would be amazing to see Matic pull up from here and perform again along this channel. It would be tremendous after the throw over. I bring that up after the throw over. It would be amazing to see Matic come back up and reaccomplish to the level of resistance. After the throw over, it would be amazing to see. Phantom, not dissimilar to Cosmos. And just taking a while. The longer that these take to get down where they're going, the more difficult it is for the market participants. If the price would just go ahead and get to where it's going, be fine. Total market capitalization, excluding BTC. I like this chart. Let's look at this. So there's a 70% potential drop in around to this core level on the weekly 200 map. That's on the monthly. Make sure that's on the daily as well. Be surprised at that. Yeah, that can't be different. That's the weekly heat map, 200-week heat map. 70% would be amazing. Cyclically speaking, it would be phenomenal. It would be phenomenal. That's the total market cap excluding BTC. Let's see where we're at. There we go. And probably in here. Just looking at about 10% drop. You're going to have another level there. Ethereum refusing its wedge. A while to get before it retests its level of hit along Fibonacci. Total discount thus far is on Ethereum, got down 40% discount, which is a confluent level of Fibonacci. This is Binance coin. Why did I say that was Ethereum? Because it had the wedge on it. That is my fault. Pardon me. I just looked at the chart. Excuse me. That is Binance coin. Big mistake. My fault. Glad I caught it. Dun 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 dun. Where's Ethereum? Right there. Very similar charts. Pardon that. We got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on Ethereum. Glad I caught it. And that's important that I caught it because Ethereum is retesting. Very interesting that we went through that. Ethereum is retesting its hit along the Fibonacci. Very important. Please receive that correction and apology. Ethereum is retesting its level currently. What is not and what's performing more strongly? Binance coin is performing a bit more strongly here. Thus far, to the extent it's going to retrace and Ethereum is leading, then you could argue it's outperforming or not. To the extent that people are waiting for a recapture on Binance vis-a-vis, if you wanted to say vis-a-vis Ethereum or not. I mean, the argument would be where you're going to retrace this down to this level irrespective. So Ethereum's actually outperforming because it's getting to our target more quickly. We want price action. Up, down, we want to get to our targets. So Binance is holding this level, yes, but it's not providing us an opportunity to enter in at our target level. So Binance coin is not at a repeat of its Fibonacci. Important. Apologize for that again. Just similar looking charts almost. I mean, you get the wedge on with the retest on Binance. You got the, let's see, on Ethereum. You got the wedge with the retest on Ethereum. So very similar charts. And a lot of these are. So need to make sure. FXS, Gala, Link. I wonder if CZ, now that I made that comparison, I wonder if, or that mistake, I wonder if CZ has any insight into a potential competitor long-term for Ethereum. He and his crew, I bet they do. but they have a solution for that. Link, not really front and center. LRC, Luna. Luna. We have our levels. Luna performed well yesterday. Still pushing. People wanting a discount. I know they do. Currently 25% off. Measured down to about 40% off. We've seen that on a few, 40% retracement. Levels of interest, people being patient. Matic, near 1. Radar performed well. Rose within. Sand, Sheeb, Soul. I think we've covered almost all these. The total market cap. XRP, just down there with Doge. Down in its cyclical price function. One major event. Doge performed much better in 2021, but it's just down and off its potential. LRC, Richard's coin. Shout out to Richard, all U.S. military. LRC looking like it's doing pretty well. So I will leave you guys with this understanding that I like the chart. We're seeing some technical conformance. We just are, and it just seems a bit more predictive and in line with something that we would hope to see, which is some nice patterning going on. There's a structure to things, and we've seen it all the way. We've defined a preceding level of a descending wedge, a secondary level of descending wedge, but this really gives some structure to the market. I think it's going to be attracting, I know it is going to be attracting some additional attention from the participants. If we like the chart and we're looking at it, that yeah, we're seeing this structure, clearly playing out. If we're seeing this opportunity, and we need to differentiate it from the clear cyclical event on the indicated laterally to the function of retracement, or the covenant with retracement, and to put it in the context thereof, we need to go laterally like this to appreciate where the pricing dynamics are. While we're in this patterning here, we need to understand and just remind ourselves that the money in the market, the returns are from here, right? Just like, and that may just be the best. As we're reframing it, everyone is wanting to do a breakout here and a breakout here, and it's been tempting along the way. It's been very tempting, and it's just for traders, we've wanted to be involved in that. But the profit here is lateral, right? The profit is support, resistance, repeat cyclical nature, and it's not ideally suited to large gains in this area, particularly while we're in the process of constricting even further. It's getting tighter. It's been getting tighter in terms of trading. It is not this zone here. It's clearly distinguished from this zone. We haven't seen this kind of volatility since 70, 80 days. That's okay. The maxim that is discussed is that after, please listen, after constricted, tightened ranges in the market, that is when you will see a bigger move. After the bigger move, you will see a more tighter constriction of the market. So after the range is limited for a period of time, you would expect a larger move. We're seeing a constriction, a further constriction. Technically, we would expect a larger move, technically speaking. That's the maxim that's repeated. That's a foundational core of technical analysis of the markets. That's a fact. That's not me. That's not my opinion. That's a fact. Noted. Differentiating this specific pattern from the overall entirety here, we'd like to find some lateral movement, potentially even out of this, because this has just been a this retracement. It kind of it felt more like in the summer of 2021. It felt like we were spending time laterally here, and we really were along a consistent line of support. We just haven't established that yet. It's like a descending program function. It's not this. It's this at an angle. And it's just not, it hasn't been real conducive to trading, particularly as it started to constrict further. So just understand that's the mode we're in. As we constrict further and further and further, technically we're going to want to see a larger move. Just technically. Now, the argument would be, well, we would want to see a constricted range function for a while laterally. That would be the argument that we're not in for a big move now. I don't want to use that as an escape whatsoever. But we see that here. The wrong type of even constricting falling wedge, if you've traded a lot, and you have, doesn't always produce a big result. So I will distinguish that maxim that in line with the constricted range, we normally expect a big move. I will insert the fact that if you trade a lot, that we don't expect from the wrong looking, I'd say a poorly formed or a poorly performing falling wedge, we don't expect a huge move, particularly from the apex. Copy that. Particularly one that's just this deeply, seated. If it can get out of here and formulate something else that we can look at, that's exciting. But I need to see really some sort of a lateral additional potential formation for us to really dig into, to have a big expectation of a move. And that would be a beautiful move right there if we were to get into something that looked kind of like this. Just let's put something on the map like this. That'd be great. Something that we could say, there we go. I'm not the one to just draw that and say that's where we're headed. That's not. I like to measure things on the daily, if not the hourly. Where are we headed? What are we looking at right now? The fact that this is not indicated to me from a trading perspective, if this were on a lower time frame, I would not expect to be back up in here off of this. I just wouldn't. It could surprise me, and it could happen, but I would not expect to be back up in here from this level on a lower time frame where I trade a lot, where I have traded a lot. 50%, let's say not 50%, 50,000, 52.5. I wouldn't expect this to produce this ratio of a return right up into here. I wouldn't expect that as a trader. It would be a surprise to me. That's just me as a trader. That's what I would expect. Okay, is a function not in line with that, a response not in line with that degree of an amplitude move. Noting the 100 and the 200 constriction prior seemed to be a catalyst at least coincident function or coincident variable, the constriction of the 200, which is in purple, and the 100 in orange, seem to not to want to cross over at all. If this crosses over, it could be a little bit of a different ballgame. So we will watch for that and the opportunity for lower prices in the targets which you guys have, VIP has. Hope you guys are doing well. We will talk to you soon. For anyone that was in the stream, and there were one or two of you that were just kind of relaxing and hanging back, just want to shout out to Luke. He was here. What's up, VIP? Luke in the house. Very nice. Nice showing. Luke in the house. Very nice. Boom. And Angel Matos, hats off. When Angel's busy, he's busy. Shout out to Josh, to Kent. Prayers going up for Kent. Luke, hope you had a great time with your family, brother. Very good. If you have more to add to me on the technicals, let's go through it. I know you like charts. We like this. It's nice. And then just remember, in relation to this, it looks great. We're going somewhere, right? Just remember this. Yep. Remember that we had to flow into a larger pattern, and we had the bull flag as well. We had that bull flag. So we had the larger wedge develop. We had the bull flag develop. So we built into larger patterns. If this can do the same, great. We are prepped. Let me check any indications. And the big thing from, I have to say, the big thing from yesterday to today was having the indicators really kind of fail us. I'll just tell you, in terms of my review of them thus far, is having them tell me to buy once it was already up, and me looking at the return to move. I'm talking about the top indicators we can find in the market, saying buy, buy, buy. I'm like, no. So that was a little disappointing. Just they're late on the pickup. Like right now on the hourly, it looks like on the hourly there's an arguable pickup for Bitcoin. Arguable pickup now. But the indicators have just been really, really difficult. They've been losing significantly. The 4-hourly sell indicator along the retracement has been the strongest thus far. It just has. And to the extent that we are still involved in this feature of, and we'll invert the scale. What an interesting chart to look at right there. That is nice. Just spiraling. Very cool. Very nice price action. That's Bitcoin. That is awesome. I like it a lot. I like that we have the opportunity to trade this. And you all see me consistently draw these curves. And some of you are like, why are you drawing that? But you see exactly why I'm drawing that. What an interesting chart. Do you think programmed pricing behavior? Most likely. And this, we would want to adjust this around. Potentially quite a bit to really master the look of this. But it is there. And it's worth us having a chart that we can refer back to as we explore on the larger time frames, the lower time frames, as we become a bit more just adept at our application of the pricing behavior or the understanding of it as it evolves. Probably just like before we really technically master that chart and spend some time on it. Just that right now is very interesting. It's a spiral. That's cool. So it's also a nice rising wedge on the inverted scale. May see some action up in here. 35,000. I could see that occurring. If you're trading this, you could see this occurring in here before it just were to get messy towards the end of this. It's really pushed into this, so we will keep an eye out on it. Would like to see some news. So news. Major acquisitions. Anybody into Bitcoin, like in terms of the adoption, in terms of countries using it, not just China no more. Austria tax it. Iceland shut it down. Russia maybe outlawing it. Like, any good news might help us break to the upside. So we'll be looking for that as the value increases beyond potentially the 41,450. We will be, and I will bring some more technicals in the back on this feature. Appreciate you guys. Get some rest. It's 4:45, and get a workout in, huh? You guys get your work done, get your workout in, eat well, sleep well, and continue to invest in those relationships around you that you knew were worth investing in before you started investing. And it's a pleasure to have you guys investing in a relationship with me and the channel and the VIP. If you're watching this tomorrow and you've been at work or you're just chilling out, hey, what's up? Hope you guys are having a good day. Thanks for re-watching the stream. And shout out to Big Luke, who was here. We look forward to seeing some more bull flags from you and to Vlad. What's up, Vlad? Want to see some more race car action? Huh? Absolutely. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care of yourself, and I'll be in the back for a little bit in terms of additional maybe features or indicators that we're looking at. Momentum is going to be interesting to see if and when, last tagline I'll say here, when we can get a realistic momentum shift, because the momentum has been what? Completely to the downside. So we want that momentum to reverse, and it looks like it's tightening. Okay? I'll leave you with that thought. We'll talk to you soon, guys. It's London with Crypto Kingdom. And